on today's show, does Mahomes have less talent around him this season? Time for a Chris Jones contract refresher and Club 610 at 1:30. Special guests include Harold Kuntz. Now, two guys ready to release their way too early 2024 NBA mocks. Cody Tapp and Jay Binkley.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to release a 2024 NBA mock, although it does feel like we should get one more mock draft sounder in before your time here at 610 is complete.
Bink, you stumbled across any good mocks lately?
You know, I haven't. I'm still working on the MLB one.
Wait, are you making an MLB mock draft?
Oh, yeah.
Shouldn't that be
Should be Vern.
that'd be Vern's job?
Huh?
Vern's busy.
If he's not
got
gonna do
games
it-
to cover every day.
Well, but he has time. I used to have time doing football ones while covering baseball.
Well, maybe Vern's putting in more work than you.
That's not true. Have you seen the guy lately?
No?
Okay.
What's going on with him?
Just looks disheveled.
Really? Because I saw him about a month ago, and he looked really good.
Yeah, that's about how long ago I saw him, and he did look nice.
Have you seen what the team is doing to him?
Oh, really?
You're going to put this on the Royals now?
Well, they need to start winning. You know, Vern takes the heart.
You know, I think what makes Vern
hair
such
is gray. He's gotten fat.
what makes
terrible.
Vern such a great professional, as you take pot shots at him.
I'm not taking pot shots. I'm just being honest.
What makes him
You
such a
want
great pro
honesty
is
here,
I
don't
think
you?
he is able to separate the Royals' team success or lack thereof from his own personal well-being.
He's a lot like Salvador Perez and Zach Greinke in that way. Just keeps performing no matter what the team is
He
doing.
doesn't
you know?
seem to take that home with him.
He takes everything to heart. He lives and dies baseball. If things are going good, Vern's in a good mood. If they're not, he's not. That's why I like Vern. Because you can tell how the Royals
I'm just
are
saying,
playing
if the Royals lose,
just by the tone of Josh
the Royals
Vernier.
lose 2-1, he's not going home kicking the trash can over when he walks in the door.
He doesn't do that, but he wears it though, man. If the team's not playing right and they're doing stupid things, you know, he's a guy that's got to talk about it. But he feels it. Just listen to his shows, and you can
You think
see
he's going home and like, babe, you'll never believe what happened tonight.
No, I don't think he's doing that.
Hey,
but,
they beat the Rays last night, so Vern should be feeling good.
but here's the thing.
That's the best team in baseball,
He
baby.
got married because of the Royals, because of Mike Moustakas hitting 300 by June. He agreed to do the dating game with Carrington Harrison on the drive, and he ended up meeting his future wife because of the Kansas City
Does
Royals.
Mike Moustakas know that?
I think he was.
Has
told
Mike
at some
Moustakas
point.
been informed that he is responsible for Josh Vernier's
Vern never wanted
forever
to go,
happiness?
Vern never wanted to do the dating game. They asked him, single guy, he's having bad luck, but he didn't want to do it. He said, all right, I'll do it. If Mike Moustakas hitting 300 by June 1st, I'll do it. Thinking there was no way in hell.
He'd hit like 212 the year before.
And then he did. And then, of course, they beat the best team in baseball, like you said, and they'll probably end up 4-game sweeping the best team in baseball because baseball doesn't make sense.
And look at
times.
Vern now. Look at him now.
Vern should make us another promise that if the Royals sweep the Tampa Bay Rays, he'll do something else, you know?
He'll have a kid.
Well, no, it should
What?
be
That is a lot of pressure. He'll have a kid?
Alex.
Alex has already agreed to go in the dating game.
Well, he's agreed, but when is it happening?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's
Well,
one of
it's
those.
certainly not happening before I go,
No, it's not.
and that's absolute bullshit.
How about putting me on it?
You want to be on the dating game?
Sure.
Well, I mean,
do it.
Are you looking for love?
In all the wrong places,
Yeah.
including Cody and Gold.
What do you want? What do you want? Are you looking to settle down? Are you just looking for a casual thing?
At this point, I'm looking for another wife.
oh,
Wow.
oh.
Sorry, a little late on that one.
I thought we were gonna get one of those. Yeah,
I'm looking for serious love.
looking for another.
You looking for
wife.
wife number 3?
I'm looking for a sports fan. Because here's the thing, I want to start an app, and I shouldn't put this out here, but baseball had this a few years ago, where it would pair you, like if you're a Royals fan, it would pair you with the girl. It was the Royals fans because you had
Sure.
something in interest. A football-based one. Do you like football? And it's
And these are this is
passionate
like
girls about football.
this is like
college or pro.
farmers only, right? So
It
you're
is.
looking for a girl interested in football like you.
Yeah, take the milk, the milking cows out of it, and say, do you watch football? Football only. There you go. Football only.
Football only.
Football only.
New app idea. Football,
Football
only. A dating app for people who
Who
love
like
football.
Absolutely. Football only. better.
Feels like the male to female ratio in this.
Yeah.
That'd be tough.
Odds wouldn't be great, but you guys would be surprised. You guys would be
What are
surprised.
we thinking here? Like 50-1 men to women? What?
I don't know, man. You guys
50
would be
to 5?
surprised.
No, but here's the problem, Bink.
You guys would be surprised.
Because, yes, this sounds like a great idea for a man looking for a woman who is into football.
Yep.
Women don't have to go to specific places to find men who are interested in football.
They all are.
Because they all are. So any dating app they're on, they're going to find a guy who's probably into football.
It's true.
That's the one flaw in your app.
But some guys are kind of, I'll watch it, but are you really into it? Do you live it? Do you sleep it? Do you breathe it? Do you mock drafts?
He wants a girl out there watching like backyard football doing scouting reports.
Do you do mock drafts? It's the first question anybody should ask.
So that's what women are thinking. They're like, you know what, my boyfriend, all the guys I date, they're into football, but do they really love it? Are they obsessed?
My favorite question is, do you get a 4.0 or do you get a 5.0? Baby, I go to 8.0.
Oh, boy.
Didn't go to 8.0 this year.
Tried, buddy.
Okay. Well, we'll work on that for you, Bink. Coming up in just a couple minutes, we're going to open the show talking about Chiefs. But I did want to give you guys one update, Nick, before we got into things. The dryer, it's fixed. It's working. The one you mocked me for disassembling has been disassembled now twice because the first time I fixed it, it wasn't fixed. Then I had to take it apart again and fixed it again, or, I don't know, fixed it the first time, and now it works. So what do you have to say for yourself? For all of the times you made me feel bad, for asking you whether or not you would...
I don't care.
Not bothered at all by my dryer being fixed.
Was it a YouTube fix? Because I use that all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I watched a single YouTube video. It showed me how to take it apart.
Same with me. I always watch YouTube.
I fixed a part that I thought was going to be there, and then it wasn't that, so then I just took it apart the second time without the YouTube video, fixed a different part, and that solved it, Pink.
I know. YouTube videos for fixing things is perfect.
The people wanted to know. But let's talk a little bit about the Chiefs and where they are roster-wise now, because we were having a little pre-show debate about whether or not this is true. And I don't think we're all on one side. Nick had, in our meeting, said, this is the worst roster Mahomes has played on. Binkley, you don't agree with that, so I'll just open it up to everyone. 913-586-7610. Is this the worst roster Mahomes has played on? I think from a 53-man roster, it's not. I think from an offensive roster, it might be. This is certainly the worst receiver unit he's had. And he's had better running backs for different portions of his time here. Kareem Hunt was a more stable back than Isaiah Pacheco is in 1 year, right? So right now, like when you look at it offensively, it's worse than it was last year. It's worse than it was a couple years ago. Maybe if you're making the argument he had better wide receivers but a worse offensive line, it's a wash. But what do we care about when we're talking about roster? We care about the skill position players, and this one is a complete unknown.
Yeah, it's unknown with the skill positions, but I honestly feel like this roster is the best that they've had here with Mahomes. And
the best ever they've had with Mahomes?
I do, because here's the thing.
I don't think that. I mean, how can it be that?
Because, okay, you lose Juju. Okay, big deal. I mean, because you lost Tyreek Hill, and that was supposed to be a big deal. Juju comes in, he left, no big deal. Other guys step up, so not worried about performance there. Tight end, you're set at tight end. Offensive line is better. The offensive line is better. And I think the combination of running backs with Pacheco and then McKinnon, there was no hotter player in the NFL last year. No better signing offensively in the NFL last year than Jerry McKinnon.
I mean, still
and
31-year-old free agent running back.
I know he was here the year before, but they didn't re-sign him until June 14th last year. He came in for a one-year contract, and it was the league minimum, best 9 touchdowns, best offensive signing in football. Von Miller was the best defensive because he meant everything to the Bills. Okay, so you get that experience. But the offensive line is as good as it's ever been, top to bottom, left to right, under Mahomes. I know there's some questions at left tackle that they're easily going to fix out, but the interior part of that offensive line is insane. Creed Humphrey, the best center in football, and Trey Smith, look at what he's doing in Tooney. These guys are getting the all-pro looks and everything else. Everybody's talking about them in high regards. So you get the offensive line, and then you look at the defense. This defensive roster for the Chiefs is as good as it's ever been, and you have to put that in the equation because you drafted last year for necessity. This year's draft wasn't for necessity. This was for luxury. Few guys to plug and place here and there, but last year you had to have them perform. Now you get them year 2. So the growth between a Jalen Watson and a Joshua Williams and a Trent McDuffie from year 1 to year 2, insurmountable. The amount of experience they got last year, going into this year, much different. Okay, yeah, Juju's not here. Guys are going to have to step up. And, it doesn't mean the Chiefs, if they're not happy, which who knows if they are not, can bring somebody in through camp. And who knows about DeAndre, if you get the Chris Jones extension going forward, if they're not satisfied with that. But the defensive roster, and we had this debate last time where I think this is a top 10 defense this year, hovered on the edge last year. This year, I think they will be. But top to bottom, I think this is the strongest roster. I'm not just looking at skill position. I'm looking at the whole entirety of the roster, the best they've seen with Mahomes.
It's shocking to me. Normally, we don't disagree, like even in this case. By the way, I think the answer is 2020. I don't know if anyone cares, but that's the answer, at least for my end, because they had all the top-end talent. We talk about Isaiah Pacheco and what a rookie year he had. You do realize that Clyde Edwards-Helaire was like that his rookie year, right? He had 1,100 yards from scrimmage. He was just as effective as Isaiah Pacheco was this previous year. It hasn't worked out generally, but then they still had Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. McCole Hardman was a great deep threat that year. He had almost 600 yards, catching at 20 yards a pass. Sammy Watkins was still on the roster. Demarcus Robinson, we can hate on Demarcus Robinson. He was their fifth wide receiver. Like, their fifth wide receiver right now had 500 yards. That's the second most that anybody on this roster has ever accumulated. MVS has the most single season yards. Richie James, I guess, is most. 560 or whatever.
But let me stop you
he had last year.
But 32 sacks. That team had 32 sacks. They had 55 last year, and that number is poised to go up. That is a huge difference in sacks and getting to the Chiefs. Couldn't get to the quarterback. They
just
could
real
not
quick,
get to the quarterback.
Which one allowed less points per game?
That 2020. 2020.
So as much as the sacks we want to talk about, the 2020 team allowed less points per game.
They were 16th in total defense, 10th in scoring. This past year, they were 12th in total defense, 16th in scoring. They were 11th in yards per game given up. I think both those numbers get, but the 55 sacks was the biggest difference. Getting to the two times the Chiefs in the last 4 years, they had 45 sacks at 19, Super Bowl champions. Then they had 32, 31, no Super Bowl titles, and they go to 55, Super Bowl championship. I'm just saying, if the Chiefs can get to the quarterback, can make a huge difference, especially with this young secondary that now turns into year 2 with these guys. And again, the draft, like last year, was unknowns. Like, how good's McDuffie going to be? How good's Karlaftis going to be? How good's Josh Williams? He going to be contributing? What about Jalen Watson, the 7th-round pick? They going to contribute?
They ended up needing
and all of a sudden, Jalen Watson got 2 interceptions in the postseason for you. And Isaiah Pacheco became, as Zach Levitt said, will draft a 7th-rounder undrafted running back, and he'll perform well. Now you put a Super Bowl championship with these guys, give them all that postseason experience. You come out this year, just like Spag said, these guys are ready to go. Andy Reid said the same thing. You take 1 year. Year 2 is much different with secondary. You expect greater things from. They've spent all their draft capital on defense. 7 out of 10 picks 2 years ago on defense. This year, 5 out of 7 picks spent on defense. This team has spent a lot of time and energy and resources on fixing their defense. And I think when you look at the roster as a whole, you got to include the defense, and it is the best defense Mahomes has seen.
Nick, why do you think it's the worst roster? Does that include the defense in your mind?
No, I think it's probably
the worst offensive roster.
Least amount of top-end talent that they've had. And I get it, like, okay, what'd you really lose from last year, right? Well, you lost Juju, and even though he was not a star, for what the Chiefs offense needed, he fit perfectly in terms of, like, I almost look at him as like an innings eater pitcher.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have a low ERA, but you're going to be out there. You're going to eat up innings. You're going to do your job. That's what Juju did, right? He caught a lot of passes. He ran a lot of routes. He was the number 1 progression in most of those reads in terms of wide receivers. And now I think that's what I'm kind of getting caught up on is the wide receiver room. And knowing there's a pretty direct correlation between having talented wide receivers and having a good offense and winning lots of football games. I'd be lying if I said I'm not entering training camp and entering this season a little bit concerned with the lack of talent that the Chiefs have in the wide receiver room.
I think a lot of this comes to the same thing, which is just Mahomes is sitting in this island, and it is prove just how much you can carry an offense. And look, they've given him a really good offensive line, so they've given him the skills that would make it easier to carry an offense. You've got a great offensive line you can do with less weapons, and you still have Travis Kelce. But Binkley, I just feel like this is more weight than he's been asked to carry at one point. I know that we go back and forth on this, like Alex and I sometimes, and the text line. They're like, Juju's nothing, won't even miss him. I'm like, he had 30 more targets than the next closest wide receiver, 25 more catches. He was not nothing to this offense last year. He was 30% more productive than any other wide receiver on this entire roster last season.
He was somebody they coveted because the year before, when they didn't come here, he stayed in Pittsburgh.
They offered him a contract this year.
Andy Reid was texting him, showing him Super Bowl rings. They wanted him not last year, but the year before, they wanted Juju. They get him. And
they've done nothing but try to attract. They tried to sign him the first year, sign him, and then try to sign him again this year. They wanted him.
Kind of. I mean, I don't know how bad they wanted him for this season.
They offered him a deal.
Yeah, but it wasn't kind of in the
one
ballpark.
as good as 3 and 33. Yeah,
I think the Chiefs were okay with moving on at that point.
To me, it's like this is like probably a semantics argument. It's like I understand this notion to be like, well, they were okay with moving on because they offered a low deal. No, they just didn't want to overpay. But that doesn't mean they didn't want Juju Smith-Schuster back. I don't think you offer contracts to players you don't want. They didn't offer Frank Clark a contract. Maybe that one you're saying, yeah, they were fine with moving on. They weren't going to do it. Now, the report was they didn't want to insult him with how low the offer was going to be. They weren't afraid to insult Juju Smith-Schuster with whatever they were throwing out on the table, right? So, clearly, to me, at some point, they wanted him back on this roster. So
yeah, I do feel the Chiefs really wanted, going in this offseason, I really think they wanted Odell and Hopkins. I really think they wanted one.
Hopkins still sitting around.
The Chiefs, he is. And that is still remains out there because
I think what we're learning is
they were waiting for him. Is he waiting it out? Is he sitting there saying, oh, let's wait till Chris Jones signs his contract? We'll see if the Chiefs make another play. The Chiefs and the Bills were the only two teams that traded trade for him.
Well, if you're right now, if you're wanting to sign with the Chiefs, not even if you're just DeAndre Hopkins, if you're any free agent, you're going to have to wait till the Chris Jones deal is done.
Because they have no money.
Joel Corey put out an article actually at CBSSports.com about Chris Jones and his contract and what he should do because he incurred about $100,000 worth of fines for skipping this most recent mandatory camp, which, again, I don't think it matters, and the Chiefs will forgive as much of that as they can. The league's made it a little bit harder. You can't forgive as much as you once could, which is going to bring back the same question, which we're right back where we are. I think they keep moving the timeline back because they're not close enough on a deal yet. I don't know because this one, does anyone else feel like it's surprising that this deal hasn't gotten done a little sooner? Because it seems like on paper, there's no way it's not what it is. It's got to be 4 for $95 million. Like there doesn't seem to be any mystery here, right? So what is the hang up in this deal if it's not the Chiefs don't want to get to $95 million? Because that feels like what the deal in the end will have to be for him. There's no mystery in what his contract will be.
Why are we sure there is a quote unquote hang up?
Why wait? I guess if this is one of those, Nick, where there's not we think you're worth this, you think you're worth that. He's
because
worth
it's a lot of money. I mean, it's going to be one of the most substantial contracts the Chiefs will have on their books, and they want to make sure they get it right. And for Chris Jones, it is likely the last and probably the biggest contract he's ever going to get in his career. So from his side, they want to make sure they get it right. So both of these parties are heavily invested in making sure this is the perfect contract for them. It would make sense that that's not just going to get done overnight.
But it's not overnight. They've had 4 months. I get it, man. There's other things going on. It's like, I've been busy. Like, Nick, it's like, remember talking about hanging out and be like, just slammed.
Like Chris Jones doesn't get to the offseason and immediately say, I'm not doing anything. I'm not going to think about anything other than getting this contract done. No, they won the Super Bowl, right? They're taking trips. He wants to take some time off. I'm sure his agent's handling it. His agent's probably handling other contracts. The Chiefs are handling other things.
Somebody's waiting on Quinnen Williams.
Yeah. So, I mean, you've got a lot of things going on from both sides, and I don't think that this is the number one priority for Chris Jones. It's the number one priority for the Chiefs. But that doesn't mean that they're going to sit down, throw a number out. Chris Jones says, perfect for me. Hands clean, sign it, move on to the next thing.
So the first, I think, let's see. What's the first day at camp this year?
How long did your contract
23rd.
negotiation take, Cody?
4 months. Man, 4 months?
Okay, so using that doesn't really seem. And do you feel like there was a hang up at any point? Let's get real personal. Was there a hang up in your contract negotiations?
I think there's just a lot of back and forth,
Huh. So we're getting to the bottom of this. There's a lot of back and forth.
I think there's just a lot of back and forth.
Training camp starts a month from tomorrow.
Are you here to tell me that you think Chris Jones's contract is more complicated to handle than mine? Is that what you're trying to say?
It's at least as equally complicated, if not slightly more.
Think about all the weird stuff I could have asked for.
And remember, I would remind you what Nate Taylor told us about a month ago. He said the entire time, I wouldn't expect the deal to get done until around the beginning of July. It's June 23rd. So according to Nate, who we know is very plugged in on these matters, they're not behind schedule with Chris Jones' contract.
And either is Hopkins, because he knows there could be injuries. There could be a team sitting out there waiting to clear cap space, like Kansas City. And, the closer to training camp, he has to miss a week or two. That's what he wants. That is what, like this behooves DeAndre Hopkins to sign late with the team. Like the perfect scenarios for the Chiefs to sign Chris Jones right before training camp, then make overtures to DeAndre, and he doesn't show up 2 weeks into camp, spends a week at camp, already preseason week number 1, where he plays like 4 plays and doesn't play or doesn't practice. This is kind of on par for what he wants.
Veteran Report Day is Friday, July 21st, almost exactly 1 month from today. Will Chris Jones be under contract by that day?
Yes. Reed wants no distractions.
Yes. I would imagine here's what it is. The Chiefs have probably thrown out numbers. We don't even know if the Chiefs have made like a hard offer.
An official offer, yeah.
They're probably throwing out numbers. His agent's going back and saying, okay, maybe we kind of like that. Let me see what he thinks. And maybe a week later you say, okay, well, we were kind of thinking more along this lines with this sort of structure and these sort of bonus incentives and et cetera, this type of guaranteed money. And even if the Chiefs have made an official offer, and it could be a very competitive offer, a very compelling one, if you're Chris Jones and his agent, you'd say, well, we still have a month before training camp. Let's sit on this.
Thank you for the number.
Maybe we can, let's think about this, and maybe we can get a little bit more out of him, right? Maybe we can get a few more extra guaranteed million. Maybe we can get an extra million guaranteed, or an extra
if
million
they win the Super Bowl
in average annual salary, right? Like there's negotiation involved in this where you don't just sit there and say, okay, we like the deal, we're going to take it. No, let's wait on this a
It's
little
just
bit.
the early July Nate Taylor thing. That's coming up quicker than you think. I mean, that is a week away.
Right, but that was when he thought it would get done. So if it happens to take till mid-July, we're not going to say, whoa, what took this thing so long?
But there's so many dominoes, too, with the Hopkins thing, if that is interest of theirs.
That's quieted across the board.
It also affects their wide receiver room. Because we said all Justin Ross love, you say, well, where does he fit in with the 6? Like, does the math work out for Justin Ross even to be on the 6? Now, if Hopkins or somebody comes in, he didn't even sniff the top 6. I'm just saying there's so many dominoes that could fall with that deal.
There
when
are.
the Jones deal
I feel like
goes
maybe,
through.
I kind of feel like Chris Jones people want the Quinnen Williams deal still. They just want to make sure he's the second highest paid defensive tackle versus that. And honestly, here's the thing.
They'll wait it out for him.
Like, they don't have to. Travis Kelce hasn't taken a discount based on what top-end tight ends make. Patrick Mahomes, when he was paid, was the highest-paid quarterback in NFL history. He obviously isn't now, and he will be soon enough. Those guys haven't taken discounts. They've just been they've been flexible with their contract. So for all I know, that's part of the issue here with Chris Jones as well, which is you have to find a way where we give you all this money, but then when we need the flexibility, we can still have it. Because that seems to be the key to the Chiefs' entire, Lincoln Logs approach to their cap, which is we need flexibility across the board, and just as long as you give us that, we'll find a way to get this deal done. When we come back here on Cody and Gold, Cody Tapp, Jay Binkley, Nick Schwartz with you, there's an NFL urgency meter, and I actually think the Chiefs should be higher on it. I'll tell you why next.
Cody and Gold.
Gold, I want a new weekly segment for you called The Steam Room.
But you got to do it shirtless.
That's Cody's request.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Hey guys, it's Nick. For the past 3 months or so, I've been starting every day the same way with 213 Flashpoint. I used to be a huge coffee drinker, and now I couldn't tell you the last time I've had a cup. 213 Flashpoint is an energy supplement, but unlike coffee, it does so much more than simply wake me up in the morning. It's designed specifically to curb your cravings and increase your metabolism. So now when 10 o'clock hits, I'm not heading to the snack bar to grab donuts or a bag of chips. I can actually make it to the afternoon when it's time for lunch. For my fitness journey, that's huge. I've always done a decent job of sticking to my workout routine, but sticking to a diet has always been a constant challenge for me. I'm happy to say for the first time, I'm eating healthy and I'm staying away from junk food, and it's thanks in large part to 213 Flashpoint. When the guys at Supplement Superstore introduced it to me, I had no idea how massive it would be in my life. Now it's a part of my everyday routine, and I am never looking back. If you want to make this year different, give 213 Flashpoint a try. Check it out at any of the 8 Supplement Superstores locations in the KC metro area.
Hey, this is Rex with KC Real Estate Buyers, and I buy houses for cash. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, grab a pencil. I'm going to give you a very important phone number in 40 seconds. I'm a private real estate investor. I live right here in KC, and I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at KC Real Estate Buyers, we are improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind-in-payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000. Or go to rexbuyskc.com. That's rexbuyskc.com. And I look forward to working with you.
At Anthony, we get the job done right the first time. That's why these are the technicians Kansas Cityans have trusted for over 70 years. Right now, receive a new AC for as low as $59 a month. From Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
The most exciting jewelry buying opportunity is happening right now at Diamonds Direct. Pick any jewelry item and get up to 5 years special interest financing or take up to $5,000 off right now. Everyone's loving this because you get to design your ring and your payment plan and take advantage of our most flexible options ever. Hurry, this amazing offer ends June 30th. Enjoy financing for up to 5 whole years or get our best ever sales price. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get details, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com. On approved credit.
Old Shawnee Pizza has expanded to the Crossroads with their OSP Express. Go to ospexp.com to order, and you can use any third-party delivery system. Located in the Crossroads food stop at 16th and Campbell. Go to ospexp.com to order your favorite Old Shawnee Pizza.
At Ethos Life, we busted all the myths about getting life insurance. Like myth number 1.
Life insurance? I can't afford that.
At Ethos, we have term life policies everyone can afford, with policies as low as $7 a month. Or myth number 2.
I have a life insurance policy through work. That's good enough.
With workplace coverage usually only equal to a year's salary, that won't nearly be enough to cover your family's ongoing and future expenses. A long-term, affordable policy from Ethos can give you the peace of mind that if something happens to you, your family is well covered for years to come. Myth number 3.
Getting life insurance? It's just too complicated.
At Ethos, our 100% hassle-free online process can give you a quote in seconds, application in minutes, and coverage in hours. With no medical exams or blood work needed, just answer a few health questions. Get your free online estimate at ethoslife.com. That's ETHOS life.com. Rates will vary based on age, underwriting, face amount, and type of policy.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Apixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist-prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You don't plan for a computer virus. You don't plan to lose files. You don't plan to knock your laptop off the counter. And you don't plan for your PC to crash or your screen to freeze. But Staples has a plan. A plan for unlimited virus protection. A plan for help when you need it 24/7. Staples Total Support Plans are your tech plans for the unplanned, starting as low as $199.99. And although you didn't plan for this, right now at Staples you can also get $250 off select computers. N729 in-store only. See associate for details.
I switched to Boost Mobile and got a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone. Want to know the best part?
It was free?
Nope.
The fact that it's on America's largest 5G networks?
Nope. It's the ding.
Oh yeah, love the ding.
Right? It's all about the ding. It's the dingarooski, the dingaroner, the ring-a-ding-ding.
Unleash your power to save with Boost. Get a free Samsung Galaxy A23 5G phone when you switch. Boost Mobile. Unleash your power.
And the ding.
Limited time offer. New customers only. Available on select networks. 5G not available everywhere. One device per line. Tax excluded. Additional restrictions apply. See your local Boost Mobile store for details.
The biggest corruption scandal in NYPD history.
I loved being that dirty motherfucker.
Harlem in the 90s. 30 cops crossing the line.
Was it a common practice to break into apartments which were suspected drug locations?
Yes, for money, for drugs, whatever was in there.
The Set, a new Odyssey original podcast.
Who's gonna catch us? We're the police.
You got into the game back then, making money hand over foot.
Listen to all 10 episodes of The Set right now, exclusively on the free Odyssey app.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
The Menards NHRA Nationals, presented by Pet Armor, August 11th through 13th at Heartland Motorsports Park in Topeka.
Ground-shaking forces will rumble the Menards NHRA Nationals, presented by Pet Armor, August 11th through 13th. Get your tickets today at NHRA.com for the Menards NHRA Nationals, presented by Pet Armor, August 11th through 13th.
Back in here on Cody and Gold, 610 Sports Radio, 610sports.com. Jay Binkley doing the sprinkler for those watching on the stream. YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook.
It's a little rigid, Bink.
Yeah.
You need to move your body with more fluidity.
Have you ever seen a sprinkler? It doesn't go fluid. It stops.
Well, I know, but I mean, I just want you need to immerse yourself in the music. Just feel the music, Bink. Yeah. Yes.
The sound makes the dance move even more, just like jarring.
Mm-hmm. Well, he is in a confined space, so he doesn't want to hit the mic.
It's a total dad sound. Cody gets it.
What is the sprinkler your go-to dance move, like a wedding?
Shopping carts in there too.
Okay, so you're pretty much stuck in the 70s.
Well, my kid got married a couple weeks ago, right?
Did you get on the dance floor?
I did not.
Really?
Yeah.
At your own kid's
Well, you did like the father-daughter dance, right?
I can't dance and I don't dance.
Well, you just showed us you can dance.
What? Sitting down.
Here's the difference. The only thing that really matters when it comes to dancing at weddings is, are you having fun? No one cares if you're good or bad, Nick. Yeah. I just want to know if you're having fun.
Every cliche was done. Dudes had the tie is a Rambo on their head at a certain point.
Yeah, that's a good move.
Beers are flowing.
It's a good move.
You know you've done that. You know that tie has been around your head, Nick.
It's probably been a while. It's probably been a while, but
I'm gonna do it at your wedding.
Okay.
Next, when is it? Next June?
We're not engaged. So.
You told me you were.
No, I didn't
say you're engaged.
Nick said, "Hey Jay, I don't know if I'll see you again, but I'm getting married next June." I was like, "Oh, really?"
That's what you said?
Did you tell Cody and
You
Alex?
told Jay Binkley that?
Yeah, Jay's actually going to be the best man.
I got a suitcase. That was just down the hall.
Now we've already cleared that up.
Someone paid for that.
Mm-hmm.
Not this time. Not if it's missing again.
I swear, if someone steals something from over there and I got to find some item from somebody that somebody purchased, I'm gonna lose it.
Maybe you should store them in a more secure location.
I was looking at the suitcase. Like, look,
what do you mean?
Merrifield's signature on here. I need it.
This hallway?
Yeah, this hallway that everybody has access to.
Where am I supposed to put it? You want to get like a storage unit?
Well, I've got the wet suitcase, so.
Well, I'd like it back.
I'll hold it. Well, look cool. It's got wet sand. I was like, oh, this is cool.
It's a unique item.
It is.
That's what we offer in the Cody and Gold Garage Show. Binkley was really sad because someone on the text line says, extremely disappointed they were unable to bid on beers with Bink. Thought the auction ended at 7. Hopped on after it had already closed. That is the only thing I wanted and have never been so disappointed in my life.
I lost to C-Dot and Rob by $5. $5.
You beat me by $5 though.
Did I?
Yeah, I think yours went for $330. Mine went for the golf outing with the producers went for $325.
We didn't have beef though.
No, we didn't, and we never will.
We never will. Wow, what a treat. The NFL, we're going to talk about Kansas football coming up here in just a minute. The renderings are out for their new stadium, and there's one thing that stands out is being, I don't know if it's concerning, but odd is how I would put it, for a team trying to get back on the football map.
Was it Gold that likes the renderings?
Yeah, Gold. Gold's a big rendering guy. Big rendering guy. This would have been the lead of our show if Gold was in. We would have started at 10 o'clock with KU football stadium renderings. That would have just been the lead of the show, and no doubt about it.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, one of the very few remaining Nick's Notable Notes coming up in 15 minutes as well. But
I'm shocked Nick's still here.
NFL.com put out their urgency meter. The 10 teams facing the greatest burden of expectation for the 2023 season. Look, a couple of the teams at the top, you know who they are. The Buffalo Bills are the most urgent and desperate team in the NFL, and there's not a single damn team who would argue it. Cincinnati does not have a Super Bowl win in their entire franchise history, and they got T. Higgins getting older and these guys. But I'm telling you, the Chiefs deserve to be in this conversation, and let me tell you why for just a minute. Because you're going to say, why would they be urgent?
Why would they be urgent, Cody?
They are chasing something these other teams aren't. They are chasing immortality. And by winning a Super Bowl this year, they have it. It's done. They are immortal. They would have gone on one of the greatest 10-year stretches in NFL history. They'd have 3 Super Bowl titles in 6 years to show for it. Their superstar quarterback would be amongst 6 quarterbacks ever to have 3 or more rings.
They're more rings in 6 seasons starting, so 50% of a season is a Super Bowl?
They're chasing immortality. They can taste it. Yeah, the Bills are a little more desperate. I could argue Cincinnati's a little more desperate. But the Chiefs are, in my opinion, the top 5 because of that. They don't have to act desperate, right? They don't have to just sign players. But they should be feeling the urgency to put themselves in a class completely separate from other teams, organizations, and franchises.
Well, the Chiefs have done a great job already of this year of kind of shutting people up, except for Jamar Chase. But like today,
Travis Kelce told him to shut up.
Emmanuel Acho. I mean, there's a few people out there. But you remember last year sitting here, Cody, at this time.
Yeah.
There was so much hate. Everybody said something negative, and we played it, and talked about it. Guess who said something negative about the Chiefs? This year, it hasn't been there. The Chiefs have done a nice job of shutting people up, except for a few people like Jamar Chase. But Mahomes pretty much shut him up with one tweet. And then Kelce kind of followed that up as well. On his
You
podcast.
can't come back from that, by the way. You cannot come back from what Patrick Mahomes did to you on
Just
Twitter.
lay down, play dead. You're done.
Hide for a month or two. Yeah. Witness protection.
You're in your mouth, and I guarantee if the Chiefs beat you again, it will come up because that's what they do. But yes, I didn't look at this way. When I saw this list, I didn't think of it like you are. You're thinking immortality. You think, okay, Mahomes. All right, if he goes 6 seasons, he's already been to 3 Super Bowls in 5 years as a starter, which is insane. 1, 2 of them. 5 years as a starter. That's the one thing people don't talk about with Mahomes. Oh, Mahomes got another. Yes. How many times, Cody, have you heard nationally Mahomes? Because finally Kelce's starting to get his run as the greatest ever, which should be if you look at the numbers. I mean, he's only behind Jerry Rice in the postseason. You say, well, what do you do in the postseason? Well, he's only behind Jerry Rice in yards, catches, and touchdowns.
He can catch him in both of those.
He can catch Rice.
He can't catch him in receiving yardage in the regular season, but he can definitely catch him in those stats for the postseason.
Except for touchdowns, he's a ways away. He needs some help there, but he could catch.
He's
Jerry
7.
Rice.
He's not that short.
Rice has 22. He has 16.
7 short is not that many, considering he averages a touchdown a playoff game.
I'm just saying they are tangible.
It's 2 years.
But again, if he passes Jerry, well, anybody even know? Tree falls in the woods. You didn't hear it. Anybody did make any noise? That's what Kelsey's up against. Kelce could literally pass the greatest of all time in Jerry Rice. That's seemingly seen right there with Tom Brady as the top 2 players ever in the history of the NFL. Kelce can pass Jerry Rice. And no one talks about it. No one talks about the fact that Mahomes has been in the AFC title game or Super Bowl to end his season every single year in 5 years. And guess what? That sample size is growing. So, yes, immortality with the Chiefs is there. Now, that would be inherent pressure. That would be what sometimes is a lot of pressure if their teams are putting it on themselves.
I don't think they feel that pressure to live in immortality because they just win so damn much. The Bills stink of it.
But the Bills
reek of it. It's 3 a.m. The bar is closing. They are desperate.
And that window's starting to close. That window was wide open. It's down a couple inches.
Yeah,
right?
that
hairline's way down.
That hairline's going back. It's 3 a.m. The bar's closing. That hairline's going back like a half an inch, and you're like, oh god.
That window is closing.
Oh god, I got to do
on
something here. I got to make moves.
They're getting a new stadium. Josh Allen's not getting any younger. He's in his prime. Stephon Diggs probably will want his way out after the season if he even makes it through this one without complaining. That window is starting to close. Von Miller's on his last legs. Buffalo needs to win. Like, there's no team in the NFL that needs to win more than the Buffalo Bills right now. You know what? Cincinnati's right there, too, because guess what? You're going to have to pay T. Higgins. You're going to have to pay Jamar Chase. And you got to pay Higgins before Jamar Chase, but you're going to have to start paying these receivers.
But they do have the kind of quarterback who looks like he's just going to keep them winning. Like, they're not going to stop
He is the type
winning.
of quarterback like Mahomes, like Brady, like Big Ben, that you just rotate the players around them and they still win.
Well, one of the biggest differences with those two franchises is because the Chiefs used to be in this little micro dose, which is like they had a franchise Super Bowl win, but it had been a million years ago. So it kind of felt like they'd never really won anything for people my age or even hell, being your age, whatever, right? It doesn't matter.
What are you
Like
saying,
it didn't
Cody?
feel like you're older and you didn't watch Lynn Dawson go win the Super Bowl. You don't remember the Chiefs like taking these things
not
down.
alive during the first
So,
Super
but that's
Bowl
what I'm
run.
saying. So, like for both of our entire lives, it had felt like the Chiefs had won nothing. And all of a sudden, it turns out when all you do is win 2 more Super Bowls, you're like one of the 8th most winning franchises in NFL history. So, Cincinnati and Buffalo don't even have one. They're desperate. They're more desperate than Kansas City. I'm not, and I get this. They feel more desperate. I feel more, like, to me, when I'm talking about this urgency list, it'd be more as if you're asking me if you should feel urgent versus how the team feels. I don't think the Chiefs feel urgency. They drafted for depth this year. They let Tyreek Hill go a couple of years ago. They got to be feeling. There is no way at any point during their run have they felt better than right now. Defending Super Bowl champs the year after they let go of a future Hall of Fame wide receiver. Their coach isn't going anywhere. Their quarterback's not going anywhere. They just had one of their better drafts ever, like in their franchise's history. Because I understand the Mahomes draft will probably go down as the greatest draft in franchise history because they got Mahomes and nobody else who even matters. But if you're just talking about from a how well you drafted with the players you took, you're going to get Pro Bowls. You might get an All-Pro. You're going to get so much out of this class and these last 2 classes. They've never been in a better position. Coming up in 5 minutes, we will get to Nick's notable notes or dwindling notes. We're going to say we don't want to miss any of those for the remainder of the show. But KU football renderings are out and Gold's gone. So we're going to talk about Kansas, the school he went to, and renderings because he's not here. Mostly because you seem surprised that the renderings included a stadium quite a bit smaller than their current one.
A little bit. So I didn't hear the latest from KU on this, and I
It didn't mean anything. Travis Goff's statement meant absolutely
Jared
nothing.
Goff
Mostly what Jared Goff says means nothing too. But this time it was Travis Goff.
Well, the trend is for stadiums to get smaller. Just like the Vegas A's, it was going to be like, what, 35,000 capacity, something like that. But it drives your ticket prices up. So we're starting to see capacity, a new stadium start to go down. The mega stadiums aren't there unless you're in the SEC, which are all, over 100,000.
You're not building a new stadium with 110,000 seats in it.
But for KU, who's got their football team going the right direction, even though they collapsed after week 5 last year.
Collapsed. You hear that, Nick?
To shrink capacity, I think capacity is listed at Boost Stadium, 47,000, but they have put over 50 in it before. But they put capacity at 39,000. So shrink it down. Then they're going to put it with a fancy hotel, a convention center. It's on campus, man. Like, is that what you guys would want on campus, Nick? Convention center? Is that what we're getting to?
Yes.
It's on campus.
Uh-huh.
What do you feel about the football team? Like,
it's embarrassing.
Arrow going
Less than
up?
40,000 seats?
The seat capacity.
Way up.
It is by far the smallest in the Big 12. Baylor's number 2 at 45. But Houston's close to it. But that'd be the smallest stadium in the Big 12. The smallest.
Yeah, I think it's all about, first off, when you look at the last 12 years of Kansas football, and you've had this stadium that seats, 47, but the max, I think the record capacity is well over 50. That thing has been largely sitting empty for the past decade, and yes, the arrow is pointing up, but when you have a big opportunity to be on ESPN or national television, you want that thing to be packed. You don't want there to be an empty seat. The perception of your program is that people care if there is not an empty seat in the house. And for so long, most of the stadium, I mean, I've been to games where there are 12,000 fans there, where there are 15,000 fans there, and it's embarrassing.
I know, but it's usually, but it's bad when it goes the other way too. I'm taking this as a UMKC basketball fan. They're like, oh, we'll make the seats so small that we sell out pretty much every time. And you're like, that's also not great. Like, I know it can look better, Nick, that 15,000 people are in a 39,000 seat arena, but they're still in the Big 12. There's only so small you should make the arena, right?
Yeah, I mean, Kansas's basketball arena is 16 plus, and that's one of the bigger arenas in college basketball. A new basketball program, even if it's one, like if it's...
No, they're building them like 12.
Yeah, they're not making them big because you want it to be this really cool, intimate environment. Now, football is different because we can compare them to the SEC stadiums. You can compare them to the Big House, right, Death Valley, and they're putting in, over 100,000 fans, and that's fantastic. But there is no program that is ever going to build a new stadium with that sort of capacity, because that is sort of a vestige of like a history in time. Like, you're not going back and building another new house, a big house. You are building a stadium that you feel like realistically you can pack year in, year out, whether the team is going 8-4 or 3-9. Like, you want that stadium to be full. And I think if Kansas does build a stadium with a capacity of 40,000, and over the next decade, let's say best case scenario,
they turn to a powerhouse.
They have a really good run. I don't think we're going to be sitting here complaining about the fact that there aren't enough seats.
Well, it's close. Nippert in Cincinnati, new Big 12 team, it's 40,000. The one at Houston's right at 40,000 when they built that stadium.
Yeah, but those are two non-Power 5 schools from a year ago.
From a year ago, I know, but
Kansas State's is 52.
So Kansas would be under that number for those schools. And Baylor sits at 45. And TCU sits at 45.
I agree with this notion that you're not building stadiums bigger. Like I've told you, I think the Royals' next stadium, like if they go downtown, rather than have like a 34,000 or 32, they should just make it like 25. Like the closeness of it, you're going to charge more per ticket when things go up. You're going to do dynamic pricing when the team is good, whatever. And I'm not sure the next Arrowhead would be more seats than it is now versus
65.
Yeah, but I mean, this still feels like a significant dip. I get it. Nobody was going to that stadium for a long time, and it's a dump. Anything's going to seem significantly better. The number of seats is not going to decrease the fact that this is going to be a far superior place to play football. I don't care about the convention stuff. It's fine. I think that that's just the way of the sports world. They're trying to get ahead of it and make it semi-pro. And you know what they'll do? They'll put those little convention centers, or they'll put like dormitories there, and all of a sudden the football team will stay
It's
there.
a little weird to have that there with the practice facility and all that, and right there on campuses. It's a little weird.
I guess, but I feel
weird.
like you're trying to create an atmosphere at Kansas for football, which is something they haven't had for a long time.
Gotta write something down. Nick's notable notes.
All right, guys, I've been waiting for an opportunity to talk about this. A major shakeup going on at one of the biggest college sports powerhouses. Bink, I'm surprised you weren't all over this. We're talking about a coaching change at a multiple-time national champion caliber program. That is Stephen F. Austin's women's bowling team.
Okay.
Have you guys not been all over this story?
I have not. Could you give me a quick rundown, I guess?
Well, as I'm sure you're probably aware, the success on the lane speaks for itself. Stephen F. Austin, national champions in 2016 and 2019. They were runners-up in 2022, led by head coach Amber Lemke.
Not only that, but their football team is going to FBS.
Yeah, but we're not here to talk about football.
I do think I've seen.
We're not here to talk about
headline.
football. We're here to talk about women's bowling at Stephen F. Austin. Amber Lemke, the head coach, but an interesting situation here with the coaching staff is recently hired on to be the assistant coach is her husband, Steve Lemke, who is no longer with the program,
Oh,
guys.
no, why?
Well, you know how it is. Assistant coaches can be fickle. Sometimes they get
Even though
opportunity.
they're married to the head coach?
You know, maybe your team falls short. Somebody's got to fall on the sword. Maybe other opportunities open up around the sport. But that's not the situation going on with the Lumberjacks. Steve Lemke is no longer with the women's bowling team because he decided to sleep with one of his players.
So his wife, so just to confirm, his wife is the head coach, hired him as the assistant coach. He then took those assistant coach responsibilities to sleep with one of the members of the women's
And
bowling
apparently
team.
that's a no-no. But guys, the real story here is the defense that Steve Lemke has given to a local newspaper, the Lufkin Daily News down in Texas. This is an actual quote from Steve Lemke. Quote, "I knew it was kind of a no-no, but there's not a rule saying it can't happen. There's not a law saying I'm going to jail for doing something like this. There's nothing in stone. I guess it's just an ethics code, like we frown upon it. But there's no rule. There's no law broken." End quote.
Not a great defense, Steve. Not making you sound like a super cool dude.
Well, he's just saying, I'm not getting arrested for this. I may not be a great guy, but you can't throw me in jail for this.
What's it going to do to that program, though?
That's the real question here.
You think about
what's going to happen to Stephen F.
Culture's a
Austin's
big
women's
culture's
goal?
a big word. The coaches like to throw
is a
around.
huge word.
Guys, so he revealed how he got caught. He said that his wife found a text message that sort of led to the unraveling of this situation.
Get a burner.
But he does want people to know that the focus of the text message that his wife saw was simply about how amazing of a guy he is. He said, quote, "The text message didn't have anything in detail. It was just about how amazing I am, basically, in general perspective. Amber saw the text message and questioned me, and I got to the point where it just built up so much that I basically told her the truth after she dug through my phone." So, guys, it's important to remember here, even though he decided to cheat on his wife with one of the student athletes on the bowling team, he's still a pretty amazing guy, according to this text message.
Wait, so... why is he talking so openly about all of this?
Oh, it's not done. There's
Why
more.
is he giving these quotes?
There's more quotes. You want more quotes?
He was proud of that.
I guess.
He is. I think he's proud. I think he's like, yeah. I
was doing
I
it.
bagged me a young one. He said, quote, "I was the stay-at-home dad for 5 years with the kids while Amber got to go off and coach the team. And when she'd get back, I'd run practices on top of taking care of the kids while she was back. When they'd travel again, I would sit back and take care of the kids.
He's bitter.
Then when I got hired on, she almost forced me to run practices. I was a volunteer the entire time before that, trying to help out Amber. Once I got hired on, one thing stemmed from another. I felt like I was doing too much for what I was being valued at." So maybe this is just a guy who
So now he's throwing his wife under the bus.
He's saying, I was doing all the work.
How do you
Meanwhile, she got to have fun with the bowling team.
Yeah.
And then when I decided to get on the bowling team, I felt I was undervalued, and the only way for me to get back at her was by sleeping with one of the players.
How tough is it to run a bowling practice?
Honestly.
Seriously, how tough is it to run
I
a
mean,
bowling
you got to
practice?
gauge the oil patterns. You got to work on technique.
Grease feels like it will matter somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Ball size.
Right, exactly. Matchups, like who do we want going against who? So I think there's a lot more to it than we may believe.
This is one of can he feel shame? Steve seems like he does not care.
He feels almost, it
about
sounds like he's almost
any
emboldened
of
by
this.
this act.
Yeah, he's like, I slept with her and I'd do it again.
Well, you know, when I was,
I'm pretty sure that's the next quote you're going to read.
I remember being in college, and I don't know how it ever came up, but like people would talk about the fact that teachers can have relationships with their students. There's not, it's like frowned upon, but it's not illegal. It's not like a high school teacher having sex with a student.
But I presume that maybe there's some sort of ethics code in like the teachery.
Probably.
You know, the university guidelines.
It's probably not great.
Maybe.
When the rest of the team finds out that one of the players is sleeping with one of the coaches.
The bowling coaches. Dirty world bowling. You guys ever eat at a
Dirty
bowling?
world.
If you guys, it's a different subject. You guys ever eaten at a bowling alley? It's got some of the most underrated food in
Agreed.
America.
Cheese fries.
Most underrated food is at a bowling alley.
I mean, it's ever
literally.
bowling alley.
I don't know if it's the most underrated food in America.
Well, strip bars, bowling alley, same thing.
Wait, you think that strip club food doesn't get enough credit?
100%. It's very good. There's
You
that
know, we have to
wings
take-
in
we have to
Atlanta at the place. They, I forgot what the
Magic
name.
City.
Magic
The
City
lemon
wings.
pepper wings, yeah.
Try to go eat at a strip bar in this town. It's outstanding.
You know, Cody has to go to a strip club as a part of a bet payoff. And
It's true.
Eat.
Yeah, Cody, does that make you any more enticing knowing that you could probably get a good meal while you're there?
I think I'm okay. Also, I just generally make a rule of
Cody,
thumb
the
in life.
strippers aren't making the food.
No, but I generally make a
Strip
rule
bar
to
food's very
not
good.
eat in which people's clothes are off in the same
It's not
area.
touching.
Atmosphere.
It's not like the strippers are back there nude cooking up the biscuits and gravy.
It's atmosphere,
It's
Cody.
very- That's what they serve, biscuits and gravy.
They serve
I bet they
biscuits and
do.
gravy at bowling alleys.
Strip bars, bowling alleys, golf courses, some of the best food.
I went to a golf course yesterday, had an all beef Frank. It was incredible.
Roller grill probably, huh?
They might have hot dogs at the strip club we go to.
Wait, which one are we going to?
We haven't decided yet.
Can I go?
Absolutely.
Sure.
I think the listeners
Just
would
eat.
love
Just
for you to
eat.
be a
Just eat.
Yeah, right.
We're going to have to let them know when we're leaving for it one way
Cody,
or the
have
other.
you even been to a Hooters?
Once.
Twin Peaks?
One time.
Were you uncomfortable there?
I don't recall. I was very young. I was like 17 or 18.
Twin Peaks?
Never been.
Would you go back to Twin Peaks or Hooters?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think like it would ever be like if somebody was like, if you guys are like, hey, we're going to Twin Peaks after.
It's not like you're going to be doing boom honking. You're just sitting there and eating.
We used to do a ton of remotes at 610 at Hooters.
They happen to have low-cut shirts. It's not a big deal.
Scenic views, as they say.
We did our
That's
Chiefs,
how they put it.
We did our Chiefs post game at Hooters. 2 of them. The one in Independence, one on here.
Oh, twice. I actually did a show when I was working here at a Hooters once.
I was asked to judge the Hooters regional swimsuit competition.
Did you?
Absolutely. Very good judge. Very impartial.
What the hell's that mean? How are you not going to be impartial?
It was right
Did
here.
you have a friend or something?
It was like the regional Hooters swimsuit competition. And they asked me if I'd do it. And I said, I thought about it for about a millisecond and said, sure.
Could you imagine that if this ends up being me instead? They're like, hey, we'd like you to judge a contest. You're
Why
like,
not?
I don't.
It's a contest, Cody. They want you to be there just to judge the contest.
I would almost rather you have to do that than go to a strip club. Have to judge. You have to actively give like a number rating to women based off their beauty.
That sounds so worse.
Cody Tapp for bikini judge.
Yes.
No. No one has a bikini contest. They can just make me a judge in.
Wet T-shirt.
If you can find a contest in which I'm the judge for,
you're an idiot. You're an idiot because this is going to happen. You know how easily
find one.
The text line. I guarantee you, by the end of the show, we can find you a wet T-shirt contest or a bikini competition that we could get you a judge.
Come on, text line. Let's go.
Text line. We need you now more than ever. 913-586-7610. We want to get Cody to be a judge in any sort of female beauty competition, specifically something that's a little more sexualized, such as a wet T-shirt contest or a bikini competition, something along those lines.
Great. Good luck, text line. 913-586-7610. When we come back, a couple of Royals players are showing some signs. Which one actually gives us real hope? We'll talk about that next.
Cody and Gold.
The Disgusting Brothers.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
If you're looking for fun on the water, I've been telling you about my friends over at Midwest Marine Boat Company. They have everything you need for summer fun on the water. And it's not just the boats. No, it's also the experience on the boat. Making sure you got those ice-cold beverages that are going to stay ice-cold. Did I tell you that Midwest Marine Boat Company has Yeti products? If you've never enjoyed your favorite cold summer beverage in a Yeti tumbler, then you've really never enjoyed summer. They got Yeti tumblers, coolers, you name it, at their brand new indoor showroom, Midwest Marine Boat Company in Grandview.
Barbecue Whiskey Hotline, how can I help you? You're looking for a delicious combination of sweet barbecue and smooth American whiskey, savory, smoky heat, a barbecue lover's dream? Yeah, that would be Curveball Barbecue Whiskey. Yep, Curveball with a K. Curveball Barbecue Whiskey. Delicious sweet barbecue meets smooth American whiskey. Happy to help.
Drink Curveball and be a bonehead responsibly. Over 21. Find Curveball at Target, Hy-Vee, and Lucas Liquors, or ask your liquor store for Curveball Whiskey. That's Curveball with a K. Curveball Barbecue Whiskey.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-989-8906 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-989-8906. That's 800-989-8906. What do you have to lose? Call 800-989-8906. Again, 800-989-8906.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up. And if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
We've all seen them. As soon as the big storm comes through, the storm-chasing roofers show up. Don't be a victim twice. Call locally owned, veteran-owned JR & Company. No one protects your home and you like JR.
JR's there for you. You're always better with a roof from JR.
In fact, JR & Company can let you know if you even need to be worried about storm damage. Online, visit jrhailcheck.com. Plug in your address and we'll pull a storm report. If there's nothing on the report, we'll give you hassle-free peace of mind. And if it looks like you got hit, we can come out and do a free inspection and help with any insurance claim. We'll never try to sell you a roof you don't need. But if you do need a new roof,
you're always better with a roof from JR.
Go to jrhailcheck.com.
We're talking with Dr. David Bach, board-certified urologist at Kansas City Urology Care. What's the most important thing men should know about prostate cancer?
I would strongly recommend PSA testing. It's a simple blood test. It's inexpensive, and basically every male over 50 should be having this PSA once a year. Prostate cancer is the second leading cancer killer of men.
And why should they go to KCUC?
We not only treat more prostate cancer than anyone else in this part of the country, we also start with cutting-edge diagnostics who offer the most precise diagnoses of prostate cancer using ultrasounds and MRI. We can offer surgical, medical, and radiation types of treatments. And even for men who require additional therapies, we're able to offer all that at a single site.
Get your PSA level tested by the experts. Kansas City Urology Care. At KCUC, you see the best in KC. To make an appointment, visit appointments.kcurology.com.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save. Right now, save $100 when you buy the Flex 24-volt brushless impact driver kit for just $99. That's 50% off the original price. Plus, you'll also find Southwire Romex Simpole 250-foot wire for just $109. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 7/20 while supplies last.
What's up? It's a Target trend alert. New swim has just arrived and it's sunny weather approved.
If you're into bikinis or one pieces, high waists or cutouts, they're the perfect combo of trendy, flattering, and affordable.
That's right. And there are so many cool styles with gorgeous details. These suits have macrame, crochet, wood beads, pretty shells, and more. Totally a luxe for less vibe.
Yeah, so dive in and shop this Target trend without the spend.
It's sunny weather approved.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios. Win Royals tickets 1 hour prior to first pitch by listening to Vern's On Deck Show, KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app.
Just have the text line threatening to start their own bikini contest just so they can add me as a judge. I don't think that's how that works. I don't think you're just going to start your own. Your random place of business. Text line's not as helpful for you, Nick. Sorry. Wasn't like a whole bunch of people piling in ready.
All we need's one. All we need is one.
I don't think they're going to come through for you today. Not this time.
I don't know. I don't know. Texts are rolling in.
You know, I wonder, just hypothetically, Nick, if maybe Lou holds one.
Hey, we got somebody else coming to take a picture. We got Lou from Advanced Auto Parts.
Good, man. Tell him in the studio I'm horny.
He said he's horny. Guys, Lou's horny. Lou is still horny, wherever he's
You
at.
think today?
Yeah.
You think Lou's back?
I mean, he was horny at like 1 o'clock on a Thursday. I'm trying to figure out what day it is.
You can't even track which day it is right now?
No.
He's already Nick's already in vacation mode. Do you leave tonight?
No, tomorrow.
Okay. You want to come watch me play wiffle ball tonight? What? I'll put you on the list.
No.
I'll just flip on the TV and watch it, Cody.
I got to pack.
Come on, it's not. You're a light packer.
I got to do laundry.
Where the hell are you going this time?
Florida. A jet setter, baby.
You really are.
Yeah.
You getting engaged this time?
Nah, I don't think so.
You kind of blew it the last couple times. You
I didn't blow
I
it.
thought you got engaged though, because you told me about the wedding.
No, I didn't do. I didn't.
You were
get
asking
engaged.
me questions about weddings because I just went through it.
With all due respect, I believe earnestly that you are the last person in the building I want relationship advice from. Because the first day we met,
okay. Stop right. That hurts.
Wow. Okay. The first day
I'm
we met.
experienced at it.
Do
Let's
you
put it that
remember
way.
the first interaction we ever had? I do.
We talk about football.
So we were. This was 2 summers ago.
Okay.
And Carrington and Rob were shooting a video with Mitchell Schwartz out in by the snack bar area.
Barbecue. Yeah.
And then they'd come in here and said, "Hey, we got a bunch of leftovers if you guys want some." So I went out there.
Very nice.
You came out there. It was the first time we had met years ago, but it was the first time we had met as coworkers. And you got to talking to me, and you were asking me about, you got a girlfriend, and I said yes. And you said, and I told you that she had lived in Denver, and you go, "How long have you guys been dating?" And at the time, I think it was a little less than a year. And you said 2 words. You looked at me, you paused, you looked at me, and you said, "Swipe right." I said, "What?" You said, "Swipe right, pal. That thing ain't lasting."
Wow. He told you to leave her?
Yeah. You told me, you said it's not going to work. And
Well,
that
I
was
know
our,
long distance
first.
relationships don't work.
And then look at us now.
Yeah, you're moving to Denver.
Yep.
Well, they don't work forever.
Something had to give. Something had to give, and you gave.
Well,
that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I don't think I gave.
You did. Great opportunity for you. I mean, it makes sense for you, but you're going to Denver.
Nick, you really caved by moving to a different cool city
Yeah.
and making more money and living with your girlfriend.
So in a way, I'm right.
What an idiot.
In a way, I'm right. Oh, Denver sucks right now. They had all this hail 2 nights ago. They had tornadoes yesterday.
Right, and the
whole
weather
town
the
sucks.
weather here is amazing year after year.
Denver didn't get the World Cup. Kansas City did.
Actually, Denver is one of the host cities for the World Cup.
No, it's not.
Are you sure?
Denver's not. Denver lost out on it. Kansas City got it. Denver did not get the World Cup.
You might want to double check that.
No, I don't need to double check it because I'm right. Denver did not get the
Guess
World
I'll
Cup.
double check
Yeah,
it because
Cody,
it doesn't seem
you
like
want
it.
to check it.
Denver did not get the World Cup. Kansas City did. Denver can't beat the Chiefs for 15 straight times. Now they steal you.
Bink, I'm still going to be a Chiefs fan.
Which kind of pisses me off
Bink.
because we did a podcast together, Character Concerns.
Bink, I'm not
which
going
really
to now.
concerned
I'm not
about.
going to now like cover the Broncos. I want to make that very clear. And people keep asking me this.
Let's ride.
Let's ride. I am not covering the Broncos. I am not working for a company that is going to ask me to cover the Broncos. I am not going to be affiliated with or give a damn about the Broncos in any capacity. I am going to be as much of a Chiefs fan as I've ever been. In fact, I think I will be more emboldened in my Chiefs fandom now that I'm going to be surrounded by the worst fan base in the NFL.
Is this the reason? What Binkley had said to you that first day, is this why you won't give him your Heisman vote?
Yes. Yes,
Wow.
it is. It stuck with me all these years later.
Binkley, we've been asking him as his parting gift for leaving.
I didn't think it'd work. I did not think the relationship would work. I just didn't think it would work unless something caved and, well, somebody did.
Broncos country, let's ride.
So I didn't realize that the influence of a very tornadic city would allure Nick.
Very tornadic city. We live in the Midwest.
Denver seems to be getting more than we do.
Tornadoes?
Because
There's no way that's
because
right.
they had one tornado.
No, they've had more than that. Hey, have you found their World Cup games yet?
They don't have any.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't. You're right.
Exactly. Denver
Like
loses.
you give a damn about the World Cup, Bing.
No, Denver keeps losing to Kansas City. They keep losing out. And I know the Nuggets just won all that big deal. But they keep
They
losing
just
out.
won the NBA
Bing,
championship.
can you name?
The NFL matters the most.
Can you
Even to
name?
them.
Can you name 5 soccer players?
I don't want to.
Could you name 3?
Messi,
Okay.
Polito.
Is that a? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
He plays for Sporting.
No, don't you dare touch that computer. What?
Daniel Shallowy.
Shallowy? Yeah, that's another. He's named 2 Sporting KC players. He's in tune to the local.
Okay.
You were like Polito. Is that a soccer player? I don't know. You would have named Messi, Ronaldo, and
credit to you, though.
Neymar.
Credit to you. So 2 years from now, 2 years ago, I told you to swipe right. You didn't listen.
You stuck
to
with
me.
it.
You didn't listen to me, and you're moving. Something had to give, and you gave because I told you. And guess what? You didn't do what I said, and you're moving.
He helped you.
You're leaving a great show.
But here's the difference.
Great show. You heard him.
And this is just me personally, okay? And my goal, like my life goal, has never been like I want to be in Kansas City for the rest of my life. And if it worked out that way, that's great. But it's not as though this was ever a thing in my life where I was like, this is the only place I can be. I love Kansas City. I would love to live here. But I'm also very excited about moving to Denver. Both of those things can be true.
I wouldn't want to go anywhere.
Hey, listen, I love Kansas City. I would be, if you told me that like the opportunities and the stars aligned where I would live here forever, I'd be perfectly fine with that. I would be great. But I'm also okay with trying something different.
Should have swiped right.
If the girl of your dreams asked you to move to a different city, would you do it?
Nope.
No city.
I'm not leaving Kansas City. Nope, not doing it.
Well, yeah, but you're older. You're pot committed at this point. I get that.
Pot committed.
If you were my age.
You're no spring chicken, dude.
I actually am. You know what?
You're like 22, 23.
I want to address this. Josh Vernier, the other day we were talking down the line before he came on, and he said, hey, how old are you? And I said, how old do you think I am, Vern?
Because you're young at heart.
And he said, I have no idea. He goes, you could be 27. You could be 34. And I said, you know what? I'll take 27.
But you're not 27.
No, but people have officially mistaken me for possibly being 27.
And twice mistaken you for looking like Justin Timberlake.
Or Lincoln Riley.
3 times. 3 times.
Well, Lincoln Riley's no doubt. He's probably got that 200 times.
I got that in France.
I'm going to miss you.
What, Lincoln Riley?
Did I tell the story?
No.
I was in the elevator at the hotel, and we're going down, and there's another couple in there, an older couple, and the guy said, English? Like, he was seeing if, like, do I speak English? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, USC football, their head coach? I go, yeah, Lincoln Riley. He goes, dead ringer.
In France, you're still getting
internationally recognized as Lincoln Riley.
That's as my story that somebody yelled Cody and Gold to me at Augusta. Cody and Gold!
Cody and Gold.
That's pretty good.
I was like, I can't top this.
By the way, we have overtures from somebody at a retirement village in town here that wants you to come judge their bikini contest. Says they do it every year, which I think is a great idea. But Nick,
so of all the bikini contests you got me in, you got me in the one at the retirement village.
You know what? They got money. Got money. Got money. Okay. I will say this, Nick. If this doesn't work out, which I don't think it's going to, you can always move back here. We'll always be your friends.
Thank you, man.
Because I know within 2 years your ass will be right
Wait,
back
now
here.
he's threatening you again?
Jerk.
2 years and your ass is right back here.
What a jerk, man.
Man.
You don't believe.
You know, 2 years. Hey, Bink, what's up? Cody, what's up, man? I'm coming back.
Bink, I know.
I'm single and ready to mingle.
Bink, I know that you have your own personal, relationships to deal with, but not every relationship ends in divorce.
Oh, they all suck.
Well, maybe for you.
No, I'm pretty sure.
My 10th wedding anniversary is
most of America would agree with me.
What's the longest relationship you've been in?
He was married for 20 years.
Over 20 years. But here's the thing, though. Even if you're not divorced, you probably want to be.
Cody, can you attest to that?
I don't want to be divorced.
All right, there you go. Look, happily married, right across the desk from you.
You may say you're happily married. You may tell us you're happily married, but the minute you get in your car, you're going, man, this sucks.
See, you think is Cody lying right now?
Yes.
Lying about being happily married?
Wow.
I'm just saying, when you get alone.
Okay, you were married for 20 years. How many of those years were you happily married?
About 4 days.
Really?
4 days? You stuck it out for 20 years?
For the kids.
I didn't want to make hasty decisions.
After 4 days, man.
Hasty decision? What do you mean hasty decisions? You got married.
She was.
How long did you know each other before you got married?
About a year and a half, 2 years.
Would you ever get married again?
He said he was looking for a third wife earlier.
I do it every day this week, twice on Sundays.
No, I think he's looking for a physical relationship. I don't know if he's looking to get married.
Would you get married again?
Sure.
See?
Why'd you just say sure when you know it's not going to end in happiness?
Because I've done it. Who cares?
Oh, it's at this point, it's like, I've been married twice. What's the third one?
Dude, I got married in freaking Vegas, man.
Him and Big Lou.
I honestly got married at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. Do you think I really care?
Oh, man. I wasn't planning on this being the lead of this show.
Not only a famous porn star sat about 4 seats over my wedding day, wearing sunglasses, and I recognized her.
Was she getting ready to get married?
I don't know what she was doing, but she was sitting at the same bar I was at in the casino.
How much of the relationships that you've been in were ones that were motivated physically for you?
All
that
of
you
them.
married them because they were hot and they would have sex with you?
All of them.
Okay.
That tracks.
What do you read books with them? What are we supposed to say?
I love it when
what do all guys think about?
I love it
Come
when
on,
Bing
man.
starts talking about like what married couples do. He's like, "What are you supposed to do with them?
Well,
Talk to,
you know what?
What are you gonna do? Talk to them?"
We like holding hands and going and looking at art, and we like to read together. Of course, men want your pants.
This is like the Kramer conversation when he's like, we were talking about we needed to grow up and get serious. And Kramer's like, oh, and you know what you do at dinner time? You talk about your day. It's just like talking Jerry out of it.
No couple is happily married.
I think it's just that you're interested in so few things in this world.
Football, sex. That's it.
Like it might, some guys like even interested like they like movies, they like television shows, but the only way you like those things is if there is sports wrapped into it, like a sports movie.
And you know what?
Like Hard Knocks.
And people on the surface might not admit that. They may be traveling down the highway with their significant other or spouse, and they'll say, "Oh man, Binkley's stupid." But the bottom line is, deep down, they think he's right. He's right.
I don't agree with you, just to be clear.
When you get in your car and you're driving home, you will. You say, God, man, Bink was kind of right.
I'm just going to be white-knuckling it, thinking
Bink was kind of right.
God, do I even get... Hey, this is going to be trash today. We're on to one. I'm trying to decide the next
Let's
tweet.
talk wide receivers.
We'll do that in a minute. Let's talk about the Royals and some of the recent fixes we've seen out of Bobby Wood Jr. and Michael Garcia. Binkley says love is a ticking time bomb of disaster, so let's talk about the other disaster in this city.
That's right.
Which
Good
is the
segue.
Kansas City Royals and where they are currently stated. But there's been actually some promising signs out of two players. As it sits right now, Michael Garcia is the #1 Royals player in WAR, Bink. He's tops. That's probably not the player that I think Royals fans would have envisioned going into this thing, and yet still somehow here we are. And so I had a very simple question I was trying to ask myself, which is which player am I more hopeful for still here for what I thought they were going to be versus what they can be, Bobby Witt Jr. or Michael Garcia? Because Bobby Witt Jr. is going through a good stretch as well. He's striking out a lot less. He's showing more plate discipline. Some of the things that have been massive issues for him and will continue to be issues for him. But he does do those things that they used to talk about with Mondesi a lot, which is, wow, look at him show all this skill set that makes it undeniable that you are interested in finding out whether or not they are a long-term big leaguer that is going to do really big things for you. He has been showing some of those things. But I still think the answer for me right now is Garcia. Because Garcia, to me, seems like he's just like souped up Alcides Escobar. Like, he'll be a glue guy, he'll do a little bit of everything for you, but he's a better contact hitter, he's got better power, he's just as good of a defender. Like, I see why he fits in almost any circumstance that you build a roster around. Bobby Wood Jr. does too. It's just you had higher expectations for Bobby Wood Jr. They might still end up being equally decent players, equally good players, maybe equally great players if things go great. But at this point, I'm more excited about the progress I've seen from Garcia than Bobby Wood Jr.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still holding out with Bobby Wood Jr., but Michael Garcia, this is how you win. You win with players like that.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
He's a winning player. This is a guy that if you accumulate other talent around, like a Michael Garcia, this is how you start to win games. It doesn't always come with the quote superstars or who's going to be the superstars. You need the glue guys.
You need Alcides Escobar on your roster.
This is what Cincinnati does to win. This is what Cincinnati did to go on the winning streak that they did.
By the way, they were a 100-loss team last year. They're now first place.
100-loss team. They go on a 10-game win streak. Are they 11 now, or is it still 10? I can't remember if they're 10 or 11.
I don't remember, 10 or 11.
But anyway, they're doing it without players you know. And Votto just came
Their
back.
biggest offseason signing, they just cut.
Did you look at their top 5 contracts? Some of them not even on the team. And then Joey Votto is number 1 on that team. But their top 5 highest contracts, 4 of them not even.
Well, Will Myers is one of them. They just cut him.
They paid players to leave. Will Myers is one of them. They paid players to leave. Moose is still on there.
Because
he's still getting paid by the Reds.
Their roster is too talented. Yep. So they had to let go of these veteran guys. We have too many good young. They have the best problem of all time.
But their top 5 is not on the roster, and that says everything.
I mean, you would prefer, I would assume with most franchises, you'd prefer that the top 5 highest paid players on your team were also still on the team. But if you're in first place, I don't know if you're being too particular about it. But I mean, I feel like I can be optimistic. I can prove some things to you that show there are some positive signs that you can be excited about with Bobby Wood Jr. But Garcia has been so much better than advertised. So maybe there are still guys. I'd given up kind of hope on Prado, and he's been much better. Michael Garcia, maybe some of the hitter stuff. It feels like they're coming up and performing better than we thought that they would now that they've changed some of the development. I still have some optimism that they will have some version of a decent offense sometime in the next couple of years. I know it isn't there yet because they have some wildly inconsistent players, and their best hitter, Vinny Pasquantino, is on the IL for the rest of the season.
And the one thing about baseball is what makes it so weird. Like, what are you really looking for? What is it, the superstars or the team mentality? Like when the Royals win in 14 and 15 when they were a winning team, 13 they were a winning team. They didn't make it to the postseason. Almost did. Went down to the end of the season there against the White Sox, that final series when they were officially eliminated. But they won just for a team effort. Like the Angels are a team I always look at because they have 2 of the best baseball players on the planet, in Ohtani and Trout. Even though Ohtani literally leads in every category.
He leads.
And pitching better.
He just took the Major League Baseball lead for home runs, and then the next day struck out 12 batters.
It's like 13 categories on that team, hitting and pitching. He leads in all the important categories. And Trout's on that team too. So both of them are MVPs, but they weren't winning. They have 2 of the best baseball players on the planet. That's what baseball shows you. You can have an Ohtani and Trout, and you're not going to win crap. But you need a team around them. You don't need that philosophy. Now they've been able to start winning games. And they are over 500, 6 games over 500, the Angels, so they're starting to accumulate the talent around them. But just because you have the best players doesn't guarantee you anything. You need a bunch of Michael Garcias on your team spread around to be a good baseball team.
He's like the better version of the guys they were trying to do with Mickey and some other players who are good. But
don't be starstruck over 1 or 2 players because that's not going to do you anything. Because if Trout and Ohtani were here, we'd be like, oh, Trout and Ohtani's here. Big deal. What's it getting you?
Dude, if you can't have the best record in baseball with Shohei Ohtani, I don't know what to tell you.
And Trout's on the team too.
If you've ever for 1 second questioned how much of a team sport baseball is, just look up Shohei Ohtani's stat line from this year and be like, you're only 6 games above 500 this year. Nick, and I know you don't watch a ton of baseball. He leads baseball in home runs with 24. He leads baseball in home runs, RBI, slugging percentage, OPS, pretty much every conceivable important batting category. So and then on top of that, he's made 13 starts with a 3.13 ERA and leads baseball in strikeouts per 9 innings. So he happens to be one of the top 5 pitchers in baseball and also the best hitter in baseball.
And he leads the Angels in every damn category.
Of course he does. He's their best damn player by a mile. Before we take a break and get to the Chiefs right half hour in a couple of minutes, Nick, I thought maybe you were going to bring it up in Nick's notable notes, so I didn't want to bring it up before. But there is no way to defend your guy Grady Dick's outfit last night. That is an indefensible outfit. It makes it look like he has a floating head. I know he said it was like a Dorothy suit. It was hideous.
Because Kansas.
It's so bad. It's so bad. There's no way you can defend that outfit.
Really? I thought it was beautiful.
This dude wore a nutcracker
I don't think you
costume
believe
yesterday.
That.
Yeah, I think he looked great.
You think that outfit looked great?
Yes.
What about it? In what conceivable way was that a great suit?
The red.
Other than
the red.
I think it was hideous.
And it was shiny.
It was very bad.
What would you wear to the NBA draft?
A suit.
I don't know. Like a regular suit, just like a black suit. You're dressed like John Lennon or something, right? Just black jacket, black tie, huh?
I'm not saying I wouldn't put on a little flash. But that was too much.
You only get drafted once.
The shoulder
and now
pads,
that'll be
man.
the photo of you. That's what it is. It's the reverse
pads,
triangle.
Man. What was the shoulder
It made
pads?
him look like a triangle.
Yeah.
He had a better shape to that damn thing.
I thought he looked great.
You didn't,
And I think it will withstand the test of time.
Well, you think we'll look back at that photo in 5 years and not think.
The text line brings up a good point from the 816. Cody, because I'm getting in fashion advice from you.
Would you rather get it from me?
I don't know about that either, Bink. I'm going to be honest with you, man.
You've had nothing positive to say.
Yeah, are you going to say anything nice to Binkley?
Not one thing.
Is this the last show you're working with Jay Binkley?
He's been coming at me.
Is this the last show you're working with Jay?
Yes.
You're having a lot of lasts as you're getting closer to the end of your time here.
Because I have this and 3 more shows. So
you were supposed to have 4.
I know, and then we got the July 3rd off. That news came across the desk
The one
yesterday.
nice thing you've done to me is offer me a suitcase.
I didn't offer you.
It was autographed by a former player.
I created character
nice of you.
concerns with you.
I'm saying the last thing you did that was cool.
Come on, we anchored the NFL draft coverage together. We'll always have that.
We're already working on taking your picture off that logo.
Well, I made the logos, so good luck.
Just kidding. You're still going to be on it. At least you told me that.
If
No,
they-
you're not now?
If they can make my deal.
What are you trying to tell me here?
Ooh, what's your number? Just say it. How much?
A modest number. I just need to be paid for my time.
You said you wanted to still be a part of it.
I do. I would also.
I
like
didn't
to
know
be-
it was going to cost me.
What? No, you did. I don't want your.
Chris.
I don't want your money.
Chris and I supposed to pony up here?
I would just like.
Good luck with that.
I would just like a little money. That's kind of the way this country runs. You generally get compensated for your work.
I'm going to talk
In
to
my
Cody and Gold.
in my America, that's how it works.
When we come back, we've got the Chiefs Red Half Hour, and for the first time ever, his training camp is about a month away. Binkley says he's not worried about something. We'll tell you why next.
Cody and Gold.
A gentleman named George Bancroft, who is an American historian, statesman, prominent in the the entire 1800s.
Are we almost done with this conversation?
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
This baseball season, I want you to get more thrills out of every AB, and you can do that at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. Right now, new customers can step up to the batter's box with a no-sweat first bet that's good for up to $1,000. Use my promo code. Go to FanDuel.com/CDOT. Sign up, place your first bet, and you get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win. You can wager on everything from the money line, hits, to which player is going to lead the league in strikeouts. And with FanDuel's fast payouts, you can get paid the same inning. So swing for the fences with a no-sweat first bet, good for up to $1,000 when you join FanDuel today. All you need to do is go to FanDuel.com/CDOT to sign up. FanDuel, the official partner of Major League Baseball and 610 Sports Radio. $10 deposit required. Refund issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering under Kansas and under agreement with the Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Getting ready to go on vacation can be stressful. Lucky for us, there's Park and Go. Easy online reservation, free instant shuttles, luggage assistance, and all spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. The best deals in airport parking. Park and Go, family owned and operated.
At Anthony, we get the job done right the first time. That's why these are the technicians Kansas Cityans have trusted for over 70 years. Right now, receive a new AC for as low as $59 a month. From Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code FLEXIBLE at checkout. That's harrys.com, code FLEXIBLE. Enjoy.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Wake up your taste buds with Bluebell Java Jolt, a delicious pint of coffee ice cream with dark chocolate-flavored chunks and a decadent coffee fudge swirl. It's the jolt you need to perk up your day.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code FLEXIBLE at checkout. That's harrys.com, code FLEXIBLE. Enjoy.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation absolutely free.
Call 800-838-6161. That's 800-838-6161. 800-838-6161.
Humans can do a lot of amazing things. Fighting bugs? Ew, a bug, get it! Isn't one of them. STEM is powered by active ingredients found in plants to fight off bugs safely and effectively when used as directed. STEM, rooted in nature, optimized by science.
Mostly sunny today, hot, humid, and 93.
Weather brought to you by Total Wine & More. At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals on amazing wines and spirits. Love what you find at the lowest prices only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
This hour of Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Supplement Superstores with 8 metro locations.
Hey guys, it's Nick. If you're ready to stop saying next year's going to be the year you'll finally get into better shape and want to start your fitness journey now, try 213 Flashpoint. Boost your energy, increase your metabolism, and curb your cravings with 213 Flashpoint. Check it out at any of the 8 Supplement Superstores locations in the KC metro area.
Chiefs Kingdom. This is Mitch Holtis, and welcome into the Chiefs Red Half Hour on Cody and Gold. Every day at 11:30 on your official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
That's right. Thanks, Mitch. I'll be playing with Mitch Holtis tonight for the Battle Within over at Wiffle at the Hollow. You know that we've obviously been to the Hollow, which is the big wiffle ball field over by Lewis Park.
And Greco made
the
shoes
last
for
couple of years. He made Mitch Holtis shoes.
He's made them for the. He made them for this game.
Yeah, he did. And he made them for, he made the ones that Mitch Holtis signed for the event we were at earlier this year.
That's right.
So, boy, that guy.
Jody Fortson did his shoes.
Hey, so just real quick. Nick has requested, he's given me 5 people he'd be fine with being in on his very last day at 610 Sports Radio.
Okay.
They are Rafe LaFrentz, Creed Humphrey, Pete Sweeney, who's already turned it down. So, 0 for 1.
Not a good start.
Not a great start. but one was Jody Fortson. Can he get us in touch with Jody Fortson's people?
Who else?
Who was the fifth? I felt like there was one more. I said 5, and then I only gave you 4, but I thought it was 5.
I don't remember. I think it was only 4.
Okay, so maybe just those 4. Those are the people he is. You'd mentioned Rob Collins, but we said we could have him on sometime before that.
Yeah.
We'll have Harold Kuntz in today at 1. But he had specifically mentioned Jody Fortson. Do you think he could get us in touch with Jody Fortson's agent? So that we can have Jody Fortson in.
He follows me on Twitter.
Schwartz final day. Well, then I can't DM him. He doesn't follow me.
Let me check the Instagram story. Let's find out if he is. We can get an idea of his current location.
You're just gonna. I mean, where do you think he lives?
I mean, these guys are on. They're on vacation right now. I would assume, right?
Probably. Leipold wasn't one of them.
Oh, you know what? He's probably at tight end U.
He is. He is at tight end.
Is he a tight end at U?
Yeah, because Kelsey brought him.
Oh, he is. I'm looking at his Instagram story. He is at tight end U.
I have officially sent an email to Creed Humphrey's representation.
Wait, why is
asking him if he'll be in town July 7th?
Why is Sam Darnold at tight end U?
Josh Allen's there as well, and so is Trey Lance. They needed quarterbacks to throw footballs to the tight ends.
And those are the ones I came up with.
Well, I mean, Josh Allen's
great. Yeah. But the other two? Barely even seen Trey Lance play, and Sam Darnold stinks.
What is Josh Allen doing there, though? Come on, Josh.
Why not? Supporting tight end.
He's elevated himself beyond that. I mean, he already sucked at the match. He was not a good golfer. Mahomes had to carry him. Now he's throwing passes, the tight ends, with Sam Darnold and Trey Lance.
I think it's fine. I wouldn't worry about it at all.
White Mahomes there.
Speaking of worry, you told me that for the first time in the many years now you have covered Chiefs training camp, you are going into training camp not worried about a single position group as it currently sits. How can you say that with the wide receivers the way they are?
Well, that would be the first logical thing you'd say. And I have been
maybe
concerned.
The defensive line?
Nick could tell you, no, I'm not concerned about the defensive line either. And Nick will tell you I've been concerned about the wide receiver group. I'm just not as concerned about it. They seem happy with it. I don't think they're quite done with it. I don't think that
you still think something else is coming.
It's going to be a big competition for these guys. They proved last year they can win it. I would, at some point, like to see weapons for Mahomes because the MO of this football team is scoring points, putting pressure on the defense, moving the football down the field. It's what they've done. Since Mahomes has been a starter, this has been a top 4 team in points per drive every year and number 1 most of those 5 years. They're good at doing that. And the bottom line is I want to see the Chiefs eventually make that switch to offense because they've been heavily defense. I mentioned 7 out of 10 picks 2 years ago on defense, 5 out of 7 this year on defense. At least Friday night they spent on offense with Rashee Rice and Wanye Morris getting offensive players. But yeah, the wide receivers does concern me, but it will be a competition. And I remember Bill Snyder saying something back at Big 12 media days. I don't know, it was back in 14, 15, something like that. It might have been, it was probably 14 or 15. And he had his whole offensive line back. Every starter was back. And he was asked, hey, how comfortable are you that every single one of your offensive linemen are back? You should be grateful to this. Somebody asked him that question. And Bill's gave the best response. He's like, well, that sounds good, but I don't want people feeling comfortable.
I'm not comfortable with the wide receivers.
Only feel challenged. And I listened to Bill Snyder talk about that, and I was like, okay, it makes sense. I try to apply it to this. Yeah. Competition. It brings out the best in players. Maybe Rashee Rice, you'll see the best out of him, or Sky Moore. And you should, because they don't have that veteran coming in for this team. It's not like last year where Juju and MVS already here. But you did subtract. The Chiefs did subtract from the wide receiver room.
But they did, Bink.
But I'm not concerned about a position group where I'm sitting here going,
let me just tell you
about it. I'm not concerned about defensive backs. I'm not concerned about the defensive line. I'm not concerned about edge rushing. Not concerned about the offensive line. Not concerned about the running game. I'm not
Congrats. I'm concerned about a couple of these.
A damn thing.
I'm happy, and I hope that you're right. But I'm telling you right now, I'm concerned about several of these things. I'll start with wide receivers. So, wide receivers, let me just tell you, the single best season any of these players have put on paper roughly yardage-wise. MVS around 650. Richie James about 550. Sky Moore 250. Rashee Rice 0. Who else we got?
But Rashee Rice is coming from a team where he had, 96
Justin
catches?
Watson, 300. These are their best career years ever.
It's a collection of guys that put together mediocre numbers.
Mediocre players. That's why they put up mediocre
numbers. They won a
numbers.
Super Bowl with that. They won a Super Bowl and put over 5,000 yards passing without a single wide receiver catching over 1,000 yards except for your tight end.
But kind of what you're saying is what kind of what we were talking about in the lead of the show, which we can talk about here for a second, which is you're just saying none of us we should all just wake up, click our heels together, throw on our Dorothy suit like Grady Dick, and be as happy as a clam because never be worried about anything because Patrick Mahomes exists.
That's right.
What you're saying is never be worried about anything because Mahomes exists.
That's right.
And
he was my mayor candidate.
And while there are much worse reasons to feel confident in the Chiefs, that is the singular most reason. It doesn't mean, to me, every year I know the Chiefs are going to compete and likely win the division, compete and likely win the AFC. They're going to be firmly in the mix. But when I talk about roster concerns for them now, I talk about them different than I did probably when you were talking about them. This entire time where you're like, their linebackers are no good or their corners are no good. We're going into a training camp where you're like, that unit can't hang. I don't feel that way about the Chiefs very often now because they are very deep. They have a lot of very good players, and they have Patrick Mahomes. So the odds of them being bad are very low. The way I look at roster concerns now are, if I'm sitting here and it's January 15th or whatever the AFC title game is going to land on, it's January 15th and we're staring down the barrel, or January 20th, I guess. We're staring down the barrel of an AFC title game, and they fall just short of getting to the Super Bowl again. What stopped them? My answer right now is that it'll be a wide receiver that stopped him. That will have. Last year, it was they're going to make a special teams mistake.
Well, the receivers
or they're not going to have a third, or the receivers.
The Bengals game.
Yeah, that was my concern. That those two, and they're deeper at receiver. They're just not better. They like if they had injuries, they could go deeper to a roster than they could last year, where they're letting Jody Fortson line up at wide receiver again. But to me, it's like I view roster deficiencies in a different way than I used to. I think Chiefs fans should view roster deficiencies differently than they used to because it's a different way it's different than it has been.
I think if you have an average quarterback, you'd worry about it a lot more. I think if Alex Smith was here, you'd start worried about this wide receiver core more. With Mahomes here, I don't think you worry about it as much. And I'll say this much too. You've never seen a better group of linebackers than what they have now. Just kind of with Willie Gay's development, the way Nick Bolton's playing, he's the best interior linebacker in the NFL. He finished second in tackles last year. He continues to get better. Then you add in Drew Tranquill, which is one of the better offseason signings, a guy that plays inside.
I like their linebackers. I like their corner.
That's one of the best coverage linebackers, and he had over 5 sacks last year. Drew Tranquill's perfect. Leo Chenal thrown in the mix. Linebacker group is great.
It's one of the better ones in the NFL.
You had another pass rusher, and they showed you they don't need dominant pass rushers except for Chris Jones to have 55 sacks, second in the NFL in sacks, because they'll blitz from the secondary as well. I feel really confident in this secondary.
But they are wildly inconsistent in those sack numbers. Simply just stating how many sacks they had last year.
But nobody hit the quarterback more than the Kansas City Chiefs, and that includes the Eagles.
No, I'm not disagreeing with last year's pass rush being good. I'm just saying as a team, they have been wildly inconsistent.
They've gone from 55 sacks year before 31, year before that 32, and then 45. But
so they were
the years
like
they were
third in the
45
NFL,
or more, they got Super Bowl
30th, and so. But that's why I'm concerned about the pass rush.
Second, 29th, 19th, and 11th.
Yeah, so they were terrible 2 of those years, and then
ones they weren't, they got rings.
Yeah, so that's why I'm concerned about the defensive line. They lost Frank Clark. They're going to bring in Uzama, but you were the person who correctly so pointed out the stat last year. Rookie pass rushers only get so many sacks. There is a limit. There is a cap, Bink.
Yeah.
The most.
Don't expect
the
double digits.
most you can. The
Unless
most
your name
you can.
is Micah Parsons.
Yeah, the most you can expect is what you got out of Karlaftis last year. 6.5. That's a home run. That's a massive win out of a rookie sack guy.
If you get 4 from Felix, you
big.
feel great.
I would take it right now.
And if you get 3 from the nickel slot.
Yeah, I don't care.
Steed walks in the 3, which he easily could. A couple years ago, he missed like 3 sacks. He could have like 6.
But it doesn't take that much to backslide back down.
And but they didn't draft for necessity. This draft was different because 21 of the 22 previous draft picks are still on this roster, meaning they needed these guys on the roster. Even Anazi Johnson, you might say, well, who's that? Well, it's a guy they drafted last year in the last round that played special teams for the Chiefs, even the Super Bowl. Guys like that it took to win because you're not paying them a whole lot. The Chiefs are getting by, which is crazy. The Chiefs are getting by with 7th-round picks and mid-round picks starting for them, like Trey Smith. Late-round pick. Then you got 7th-rounders like Pacheco and Jalen Watson, who got you 2 postseason picks, 3. Jalen Watson helped you win the game against the Chargers this year with a 99-yard interception return. So they're getting by doing it, but their experience going back. And I can't look at one of these groups and be concerned about it. You've gone to training camp. Like last year, I think we all went to training camp, and a lot of people did, wondering about can they put pressure on the quarterback.
All right.
And I felt that they could manufacture it. I felt they could manufacture it a lot like Mahomes can with the passing game. And I do believe Richie James brings in some experience. Ball security is a problem with him. People weren't talking about that. He's got 8 fumbles in 58 games. That is a concern.
Of course.
That I don't hear brought up very often at all. But he does bring in some experience, this wide receiver core. They bring back Justin Watson for this experience. And I don't think they're completely out on Hopkins.
1 out of 6. Let's just ask this because we're talking about the wide receivers and you're concerned about it. Ranking them 1 out of 6, where does this entire roster, offense and defense, rank amongst Patrick Mahomes?
This is best roster.
So you think it's number 1?
Number 1.
How is this?
If you're including the defense, yes.
I don't.
Code man.
Nick, which year do you think was the best
roster?
I think it was 2020.
The year they lost to the Bucs?
Yeah. They had a top 10 defense scoring wise.
But that offensive line was trash.
But at the end, it was trash. You know? That's just at the very bitter end. Until then, they had the league's best right tackle and a really good left tackle. I'm not asking you the roster on the final day of the season. I'm just saying from a roster, they had top end talent. Their wide receiver core went just as deep as this one, but they had stars. Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins. They had McCole Hardman in his best season. He had almost 600 yards and was 20 yards a catch.
You see his new necklace?
It was Clyde Edwards-Helaire best year. He went for the jet.
Come on.
He went for 1,100 total yards. The defense got sacks. The defense didn't get as good as sack numbers, but they were better points per game than last year's defense.
I would actually say the first year.
That defense stunk. Not the first year Mahomes was a starter.
Wait. 2019, I get confused because the years don't end in the ones that they put on the reference page. 2019 would be the year they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, in 18 they had a great offense, bad defense.
Yeah, I'm talking about the year they lost to the Bucs. If you're talking about 2019, the year they won the Super Bowl, I think you could easily make an argument for that roster.
Because that's what I would go. I would go with that.
I'm going this one, Cody, because I'm going with this roster because it's experience last year. Winning the Super Bowl, they proved they could win.
You just think they're all going to get better. That's fine. I get that.
I do feel that they'll get better. I think they're already good, and they're only going to get better. And we saw progression from them. We saw Sky Moore get better. We saw Karl Loftus get better. Saw Jalen Watson get better. Saw Trent McDuffie. You saw all these players start to ascend, and now you're getting him in year 2 back here, and it's the culture. It's the culture of winning. The culture of knowing who your quarterback is. This coaching staff's never been more on point. The front office is on point. Everything is clicking on all cylinders for the Kansas City Chiefs. So I look at this roster, and it's still a hungry roster. A roster that still wants to continue getting rings, that's not content.
Yeah, but that's
if you're not content, you're going to be gone. Andy Reid's going to get rid of you.
But the way you're describing this roster is look at all this stuff they could still get better at, which you're not wrong. But the ones we're talking about, 28, that team was good. It had all pros and future Hall of Famers. And it just had so much more
But
juice.
did they have the mindset and culture?
They won a Super Bowl, so at least one of them did.
Well, but again, we could say, okay, but not many guys have the 2 rings. Again, pre-Mahomes, there's only 4 guys in this roster, and 2 of them are specialists.
Yeah.
They have flipped this roster. 49 other guys on this roster when Mahomes got here. But you have the hardest position in sports, and you have the best. Playing quarterback is the toughest position in all of sports, and the Chiefs have the guy. They have the guy that's always going to make them relevant.
What you're describing is the best possible news for the Chiefs. Why you should feel great about the Chiefs moving forward? Because
the one thing I'm concerned about is the schedule.
Schedule?
Week 12 through 17, they have less rest than every one of their opponents, and those do include the Bengals and the Bills.
No, I know that.
That concerns me.
It's not just less rest. It's like some of the least.
And the Chiefs have gotten fewer rests than anybody, especially Mahomes. There's nobody that's played more football games than him.
Well, no, but that's the benefit of going to all those Super Bowls. By the way, we say that, and the only other example in which that's happened in recent memory is Tom Brady. And I
17
Nick,
games.
I need your help real quick. Did it seem to hurt Tom Brady that he was playing all those extra football games, or did it seem
He seemed to hold up okay?
Okay.
Yeah, he did pretty good.
I'd be more worried about other players than the quarterback. I don't care how many games the quarterback's playing. That's probably a good thing. He's playing more.
If he's not running for his life.
Yeah, but he's not. I mean, he's not as pocket of a passer as Tom Brady.
I love this line in front of me, man.
This is one of the best offensive lines in football.
And hopefully this line will translate to 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, because that's the biggest concern. You know what they need to start doing? Putting the bulldozer back there and just pushing.
Well, that goes to the red zone
just
stuff.
Pushing him along.
It's weird with the short yardage situations that we always talk about Andy Reid being this innovative play caller. He's the best in the NFL, one of the greatest play callers and offensive minds of all time. And when he comes up with these unique ways to pick up short yardage situations, we love it. And then the second it doesn't work, the second he goes for it and the play falls apart or they don't pick up the yardage, it becomes too cute. They got too cute there. It's like, where is the line between innovation and creativity and cuteness? Because it's always the same way. You'll be on Twitter. They won't pick up a 3rd and 1. They have to punt, and then you'll see 20 people send the same message. Got too cute.
You want to know when it doesn't work? It's only cute if it doesn't work. If it works, it's genius. If it doesn't, it's cute.
In the most important moments, that's when I'm just like, the same thing we were just talking about the roster. In the most important moments, Nick, that's when I truly don't want it. You have Patrick Mahomes. Just let him be great at that. He's really good at that. We don't need all this extra stuff. And then yet you think, and you're like, Bill Belichick was calling pass plays to Mike Vrabels in Super Bowls. So am I really supposed to stop him from doing this?
Okay, well, at some point you can get caught up in overanalyzing the minutia, the play-by-play, which we do that when we're watching games. That's what Twitter is great for, to react to every single little thing that happens in the game. But when you take like a 20,000-foot view approach and say, okay, how about this offense as a whole? Are we good with it? Are we good with the way he's running things and the way that he's calling plays and setting up these situations? Yes, okay, then maybe we don't overanalyze every little play that doesn't work. You guys are both staring at your computers. What's going on?
I'm responding to a person in the text line that you've been going back and forth with. So I'm just telling him. He said he had asked earlier in the show, "Can I razz you on the text line?" I said, "Yeah, I don't care." And then it's just so many texts. I kind of thought he meant maybe send like 5 things. He'd be like, "Nick, you jerk," or the people were like, "Make Nick get a back."
Somebody texted you earlier and said, "Hey, Cody, can I razz Nick?"
Yeah, and I was like, "Sure, fine." Right? That seems pretty innocuous.
Yes.
And then now there's been 400 texts.
And I said, send one more, and I'm blocking your bitch ass. Go ahead and do it. It'll be the last text anyone from this station ever reads.
That's what you said. Yeah.
And
I'm just tired.
Now he has agreed to stop.
He got a full hour. Good run.
Yeah, you can keep texting about something else. Just don't keep texting about that thing you've been texting about, or you will get blocked. And the thing about getting blocked on this station is there's no way to ever file an appeal. There's not an appeal system. You'll never be able to get into contact with anyone from the station, so, like, it's kind of over.
One person offered me cash once to unblock them. I was like, okay. I mean, I'm not promising you'll stay unblocked forever, but you Venmo me $20 and we'll talk.
Did they?
Yeah.
So you pocketed $20 to unblock someone on the text line?
Correct. What, am I supposed to feel bad about that? What's inherently wrong with this? This person had gotten blocked for whatever reason. I've never blocked anyone. If anything, I've netted one more person. I just send him my Venmo handle.
That seems like a great side hustle. Go to remotes, find people who are blocked. You could probably could have got more than $20, quite frankly.
Honestly, maybe. Because the people who are blocked are always like, hey man, I'm blocked. Please. I got blocked by Danny Parkins in 2012. I'm begging. Put me back. Like they're always trying to find some way back. And I don't know what these people ever said. And I'm not saying you won't get blocked again. Because maybe you'll say something.
It's a pretty simple process to block you. It's like 2 buttons.
So,
I like the ones that says, am I blocked? And you respond by, yeah, you are, man. But say it if you were.
Someone said this could be an FCC violation from blocking them from a text line?
I don't think that's how the FCC works.
And also, they don't care about me. They got way bigger fish.
You got to really do something offensive to get in trouble with the FCC.
Like, yeah, big trouble. Not do this. Someone says they'll pay $40 to reblock them. So I can get this both ways.
Wow, this is a cycle that you could get caught up in and make a lot of cash on.
Side hustle, you know?
Bink, you're a pretty notorious text line blocker, aren't you?
Well, yeah.
What's the line? Is there a well-defined line that they can't cross?
Post-game show, I'm really tempted because everybody complains about everything. Like Chiefs to get points. Like, oh my God, they suck. You know,
and you're like, I'm gonna block you for saying that.
No,
that's a tough one to be blocked for.
When they get personal, things like that.
Yeah.
Or, especially about other people. Or
when you're texting a lot and then like it's all I see when I look at the text line and I can't see anything else that anyone else is saying, it's like you need to stop.
And long text. Come on, man. They're bunched up. They don't.
Wait, you're blocking people for long texts?
Well, because they don't always. They don't.
Extortion.
They don't come in. They don't come in like the right order. So if you send a long text, it will come in like 4 different messages, but they're out of order.
And they're pissed about something.
Someone says,
"Time for this."
It's like, this is on-air extortion. I'm like, well, I'm not blocking them and then extorting cash out of them to unblock them. They're saying, hey, I'm blocked. What do I need to do? I'll pay you money. That person offered. They're like, I'll pay you money to unblock me. I'm like, sure, send me some money.
Okay, and so now this person that I threatened to block and who now backed off, they said, I never crossed a line. That's why the threat from Nick is ridiculous. Here's the thing, Bucko. There is no line. If I just don't want to hear your texts anymore or see your texts anymore, I just block you. It's as simple as that. I don't have to file paperwork. I don't have to inform the boss or anybody else at the station. I click on your number, I click block, and it's over.
And then we never really notice. I don't know when you guys have blocked anybody. It doesn't say that. I just don't see anything.
So, I am judge, jury, and executioner. We all are in this situation.
I've never blocked anyone. Let it be known. I've never blocked a single person.
I think I've blocked like one guy. And I don't even remember who it was or what it was for. It was one time.
I told Alex to block someone once, but he was saying something racist. So
I think they had like found like a family member's phone number and posted it to the text line or something.
Yeah, you can't do that.
It's a little too deep of a dive.
Don't get personal.
Let's avoid. Yeah. That's really what we're talking about here, Mink. Just don't get personal. When we come back, let's talk about urgency meters as it relates to the Chiefs and the rest of the teams in the AFC.
Cody and Gold.
The facts on this show are irrelevant.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
those stomach issues ruined your birthday?
You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa.
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
if these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Is your check engine light on? Let our professional parts people scan and diagnose the problem for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What to do today? There's boating, fishing.
At Jackson County Parks Plus Rec,
Sailing, skiing, picnicking.
there are countless ways to make your day.
Canoeing, hiking, biking.
And you just
swimming.
found your spot right here.
Camping. Yeah, camping. I'll camp at Lake Jacomo or Longview Lake or maybe Blue Springs Lake. Hit the beach at Longview Lake. Oh, they're all so close to
Jackson County Parks Plus Rec. Miles of smiles, minutes away. Learn more at makeyourdayhere.com.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171.
My plan from Verizon puts you in control. Get exactly what you want. Only pay for what you need. All on the network you want. Head into your local Verizon store now.
16
enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
Well, it's a patented key ingredient called testofen. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. It's backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text ORDER to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ORDER to 321321. That's ORDER to 321321.
Here's another Outdoor America fishing tip presented by Wholesale Batteries. The right battery the first time. Here's the host of Outdoor America, Tommy Bench.
Everyone knows that I love throwing topwater, but topwater don't always pan out. Sometimes the big old smallmouth will come and blow up on my topwater and miss, and then I'll have to have something to follow that up with. My #1 follow-up bait, a white pearl fluke. I love throwing a fluke. It's probably my go-to bait. Then again, sometimes they short strike that fluke. I hate it because I throw it on a 4-aught Gamakatsu EWG wide gap hook that sometimes they'll just smack at it and I won't get them hooked good. So I'm going to tell you right now, get you a #6 Gamakatsu Nano treble hook. Put it on the back of that as a little trailer. Get them every time. That is the tip of the week.
Outdoor America with Tommy Bench. Heard every Saturday morning at 5 a.m. on 610 Sports Radio. Presented by Wholesale Batteries.
Ground-shaking forces will rumble the Menards NHRA Nationals presented by Pet Armor. August 11th through 13th. Kids 12 and under are free with general admission. Get your tickets today at NHRA.com for the Menards NHRA Nationals.
Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about Dan Dan the Wedding Man. Why rent a suit or tux when you could buy one from Dan Dan? Only $250 gets you a custom tailored suit or tux. And as always, Dan Dan has free alterations for life. It's the day your partner will remember for a lifetime, and it's a suit you can use for a lifetime. Best day, best look with Dan Dan the Wedding Man at 97th and Quivira. Online at dandantheweddingman.com or call 541-1192.
Meet Joe A, Joe B, and Joe C.
What's up?
3 everyday Joes perfecting their banking with Chase. Joe A is locking his lost debit card with the Chase mobile app. Joe B is cruising toward his new ride with AutoSave. And Joe C's Chase banker is helping him budget to go back to school. Tools that help protect. Support for what's next. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase. Make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Messaging and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
If car designers can make cars look like anything, why are there so many boring cars? Why not a car that looks like an ancient sword? Or the future? The sky isn't even the limit at Nissan. Why be boring when you can make a katana blade slice through traffic? That's the Nissan Z. Or something from the future whizzing by. And that's the Aria. Nissan. We design for thrill. 2023 Aria has limited availability. See dealer for financing details.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios.
Hey, this is Chris Jones, and you're listening to the official broadcast partner of the Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty, always live on the free Odyssey app. What's trending?
All right, let's check in on the hot topics trending.
#1 on What's Trending, the Royals winners last night over the Tampa Bay Rays. They were plus 300 to get the win because they were starting Jose Cuas. And then, obviously, Jay McClanahan was on the bump for the Rays. But Austin Cox set a major league record in the win last night, going almost 12 full innings before allowing a hit in his major league debut. Look, I don't know what Austin Cox's career is going to look like, if he's a long-term starter, if he's a long reliever. But I'll tell you, anybody who gets the first 13 innings worth of hitters out in their major league debut, they've probably got a place on a major league roster and a home to get some batters out.
It just made too much sense the Royals were actually going to win that game. Oh, playing the best team in baseball, yes, the Royals will win that game. It just made too much sense to do it. Will they win this series? Probably not. Will they win another game in this series? Can they split this series? I think they can. I think they can split with the Rays. What do you think, man?
I mean, they already won the first game, so it's a lot
I know.
easier to split the series if you're only asking me to win one of the 3 games. Yeah.
NBA draft last night. I don't know which one you watched. If you wanted to watch the one on ABC where you learned about their journey.
I didn't watch any of it.
Watch the ESPN one where they
Twitter.
broke down the players. But Grady Dick, lottery pick, goes 13 to the Raptors. Keontae Johnson, Kobe Brown, Jalen Wilson, all drafted. Grady Dick's...
he was the highest, right? 13th?
Yeah, but the highest. Yeah, he was a lottery pick and wore the fancy shirt and jacket with the look like shoulder pads.
Yeah, I would say those are shoulder pads.
No, those are not shoulder pads.
What are they then?
They don't put shoulder pads in men's jackets.
Then why did his
That one
shoulders
they
look
did.
like Herman Munster's?
Do you think it's just a really structured shoulder?
Yes. Not a shoulder pad, a shoulder support.
Regardless, it got him drafted higher than anybody.
Significantly different. The big thing about Kobe Brown is he's the first player to play 4 years in Missouri and then get drafted since Anthony Peeler. So it's like, it's just the state of college basketball, that's going to change a lot. Playing 4 years in a university, especially with the transfer portal now, is probably going to go a long way, but still good for both of those. Next up on What's Trending and lastly on What's Trending, the Bills have signed Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane to contract extensions to keep them with the team through 2027. Binkley, you made it very clear earlier. Not a fan? You don't like this deal?
I don't know about Sean McDermott at this point. Is he a good coach? Well, he's winning games, but you got to win the locker room 100%, and you got to keep your stars happy. And we've seen Stephon Diggs maybe not be so happy in this point, but he's got to win. That window is starting to close. Would I have given McDermott this? Hey, prove what you can do. You've got a quarterback in Josh Allen. You have the roster, but you can't keep getting bounced in the postseason. Not only that, Cody, I look back a couple years ago when they should have had that 13-second game, which they still talk about in Buffalo. And we don't talk about it here as much because they lose the Bengals the next week. And
Sure.
the
Grim Reaper died and all that. God, it was such a badass line.
Grim Reaper,
I'm still mad at the Chiefs for losing that game.
When things are grim, be the Grim Reaper. I haven't put together a musical montage for this. Took me forever with the calls of Mitch Holtis and Dana mixed in with the Grim Reaper. And I was so excited to use it, but I couldn't really use it because there just wasn't time to do it because it only lasted about a week. But the Bills should have been playing at home. That game should not have been at Arrowhead. But you know what? They choked away a game at Jacksonville. They had 41 points put on them to Indianapolis. This team just finds ways to lose.
If you're looking for T-shirts that haven't aged, by the way, our Cody and Gold shop ink is still up at Raygun. We have the Pat Who, That's Who with the double Super Bowl rings on there. So that shirt's not going to go anywhere.
Oh, you got that one?
Yeah.
Any
You wanna
Grim
see it?
Reaper shirts?
No, I don't want. Those are old.
You don't want that?
There's Pat Who, That's Who. You going to play this song now?
Yeah, when it's grim, be the Grim Reaper. And go get it.
Just a waste. It doesn't even mean anything now. No one cares.
I do.
And Mahomes at his own 36. Down by 3. 3 wide to the right, 1
They
wide
lost.
to the left.
The next week.
Mahomes
They won
over
this
the
one.
middle.
Cut Tyreek Hill up to 45. Angling right 40. 35. Cheetah. 25. 20. 15. 10. 5. Touchdown.
I spent so long
Kansas City. A 64-yard touchdown. Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek Hill. And Mahomes has just
How long is
set
this?
an all-time National
Okay,
Football
turn this
League
off. We're
record.
not listening to this whole thing. That was going to end soon.
He goes, the visual on that was so good. Cody goes, how long is this? Fink goes, oh, it's very long.
Yeah, when it's grim, be the Grim Reaper.
No, I don't want to hear it
Go
again.
get it.
I lost this damn game.
How long is this? Oh, very long.
How long is
5
it?
minutes, 3
Oh,
seconds.
God. No.
It's a long
I
song.
remember the next morning, I walk in, Bink goes, hey, did you hear this thing I worked on? And then we start listening to it. We're like, oh, that is cool. This will be a cool little piece of audio that we'll have at 6:10. And then the Chiefs lost in the Super Bowl and go, well, are they have championship game? I guess this is dead.
The Grim
Yeah,
Reaper
when it's
stuff.
grim, be the Grim Reaper. And go get it.
Can you ever...
More cowbell. More cowbell.
Can you ever bring it back, Nick, if he wins like 5 Super Bowls? You could
Yes.
still like that cool
No, but
quote.
13
I don't-
seconds of glory.
I think it has to be in a Super Bowl winning year.
There's
Yeah,
a
it
lot
does.
you can do in 13 seconds, Code Man.
I think Pat Who, That's Who lives forever because it's an off-season comment after they won the Super Bowl. It has
that was
nothing to
good.
do with this year's team. He's just rubbing it in Jamar Chase's face now.
Or Travis Kelce going off about that comment, or Jason Kelce calling it disrespectful.
The 3 top-selling things on our
I
site
love your shirts, by the way.
are Pat Who, That's Who.
Love that one.
I Never Say It Can't Get Worse from Buddy Bell.
I'm getting the Pat Who shirt.
And the Dogtown underwear. They recently gave me a report of the things we sell the most. Those are the 3 most sold items on our Ray Gun site, Nick. Those 3. Oh, did I tell you? I don't know if I told you. You know, you were leaving, and so I forgot, and I think you were gone. Nick, we've got some royalties coming in.
You need
to
to
get
Club
rich.
16
Pardon
shirt.
me?
Getting some royalties from these shirts. We're about to get rich.
No, I heard. No,
Do you want to cut?
I heard you say it the first time. I was asking for you to explain.
Would you like to know the exact dollar amount?
So what are the royalties for?
The shirts. We have a site. Like we have our own site on the Ray Gun site. We have a partnership with them. For every shirt sold, we get a small portion.
Would they do a character concern shirt?
So we can buy more nonsensical show stuff. You know what it is? I want to buy a velvet rope for Club 610.
Oh, that needs to be a shirt, Club 610. And 13 seconds.
We're not doing 13-second shirts anymore. It died. God, nobody wants it.
Yeah, when it's grim, be the Grim Reaper. We'll go get it.
That intro like 5 times. Yes, text
Go
line.
get it.
You're right. That conversation died the second they lost to Cincinnati.
And it's
Like,
still
first
fun.
By the way, you know something that I missed out on when I was gone? Did you guys do like a Frank Clark in remembrance segment of all of his great quotes and sound bites that he had?
No. Or
Because
I
when-
didn't.
When you're talking about something that will live on, I don't care that he's going to play for the Broncos. Like the fact that that on-air interview he had with James Palmer will forever be my favorite like Chiefs soundbite of this run. There's nothing that anybody will ever be able to say that will top his on-field interview after the Chiefs beat the Bengals.
I don't know who the hell they think they was calling this Burrowhead. I don't know who the hell they thought they was talking about they was going to finish us off. They'll take their bum ass back to Cincinnati. Man, they came to the Chiefs game and got their ass stumped on. I don't know what number 1 did. I told him to holler at me. I don't know what the bank. I told them all holler at me. I told them last year they didn't get my best. I told them this year they barely got my best. I told them with the playoffs though, I'm the king. They gotta holler at me every game. Let's go.
That is epic.
That's as good as like anything from The Wire. Like if you take a chance, you best not miss, right? That's essentially what he's saying. He's like, you're coming to me? I told them all. No one showed up. That is a great cut. He's responsible for several of the great Chiefs cuts of this year.
Oh, dude, I'm the effing king.
Yeah. God, that's a good cut. That's a good
So
one.
good.
Just quickly on the Bill stuff, because that's big news in the NFL world. Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane getting extensions. I don't know how you could dislike this from a perspective of they're like the 3rd most winning franchise right now.
Have you seen their
All they're
noses?
doing is win. I know they don't have a Super Bowl win. I
you
know
seen the
that's a
noses?
hang-up. The noses?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Are you talking about, is this from yesterday?
just
Like, have I
using
measured
a
Brandon
reference from your
Beane's
show.
nose?
So
So
what
what
a
are
T-shirt, by the way.
what are you saying?
I'm just saying.
I think
I'm
he's
not
saying Sean
wild about
McDermott
this.
has a small penis.
No, I didn't say
Yes,
that.
you did. You said, have you seen their noses? Do you think Sean McDermott has a small nose?
I mean, it's not the biggest nose.
Okay.
And
he's a shorter guy.
Does that matter for your
I'm just
your
using a
thought of
reference
how
for
good
your
of a
show.
coach they are?
You know
Wait a
what?
minute.
This needs to be a T-shirt.
Wait a minute.
How big is your nose?
Wait, how big is Andy Reid's nose?
No, no. Looks fine.
You know, the mustache, it kind of clouds the perspective just a little bit.
I think that's going to make it harder to know.
Actually, I
Looks like a
disagree.
good-sized nose.
That's a honker, man.
It's a good sized nose.
Yeah, that's a schnoz.
So that's going to be tough to beat.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Drop mic.
Yeah. So again, you don't think I understand this. There's a lot of you got to wait around, but there's also like a certain level in sports and where you have to reward someone for a certain amount of winning.
No,
You can't just move on Sean McDermott because he hasn't won
what you've done.
titles
What
yet.
can you do? What can you do? And what you can do is, well, you get one of the best quarterbacks that team's seen since Jim Kelly, and they bring in Stephon Diggs to help him out. They draft tight end this year that we like. But can you win when you get to the postseason? Or 2 years ago when you have this great team that people started saying, oh, they beat the Chiefs, and they go and lose to the Titans the following week. They lost at Jacksonville. Not this Jacksonville. Urban Meyer led Jacksonville Jaguars and had 41 points put on you against the Colts, but they're crying about 13 seconds that happened in Kansas City when that game should have been in Buffalo. They are not living up to expectations. That window's starting to close. They're no longer the Super Bowl favorites like they were last year. So I would have waited on Sean McDermott.
I think my biggest complaint about them to this point is that they've had a top 3 defense 2 or 3 different times now to go with one of the league's best offenses, and they're not coming through in the clutch. But I'm not sure that that's McDermott or if it's Josh Allen or it's a combination, because they didn't deserve to lose that game. The 13-second game, Josh Allen played a nearly perfect football game. Mahomes just got the better of them, and then they screwed up by giving him 13 seconds. Just a very innocuous amount of time. And yeah, McDermott's going to take some heat for that because he should have just buried it through the back of the damn end zone or whatever he could have done, squibbed it, whatever million of choices he would have had to try to leak up some of that time that he didn't. But
he's a defensive-minded guy
I know.
who had the number 6 defense in the NFL in yards against. Points per game.
Points per game, he was like second or third.
Buffalo was number 2 behind San Francisco.
Yeah.
Barely. 17.9 points
I
a
don't
game,
care how many
yet
yards
they
you give
melted
up, by the
down.
way. I only care about how many points you give up.
And that 13 seconds was just, come on.
But that was 2 years ago now.
But they find a way to choke. 13 seconds.
Well, let's talk. Oh, God, not this stupid song.
Yeah, when it's grim, be the Grim Reaper. Go get it.
Okay, you know what? I'm back.
You're in now? Now you're interested. You know what? Let's be the
It's
only
a war of attrition.
Let's be the only people who are bringing back who's making new Grim Reaper shirts, Nick. 2.5 years after it died.
Back.
It's throwback now, right? It's vintage. It's a little different. We'll be the only people putting a new Grim Reaper shirt on the market.
People were dressed like Reapers the next game. Like they literally went to the game dressed like Reapers.
It was about to be one of the coolest things people said about the Chiefs, and then they lost to Cincinnati in overtime, and it was done.
But we shouldn't let that thing die.
Why?
It
did die. It's
just like the Ring Around the Rosie play and the slot machine play and the one they did against the Panthers where Mahomes goes in motion. I forgot what they called that play.
Look, I also want the throw.
Do we have time to run wasp?
I also want the throw that Mahomes was literally Supermaning across the field and dotted a guy between the eyes to be one of the coolest plays in Chiefs history. But it was in a Super Bowl in which they got their ass thumped, and it was an incomplete pass. So as much as I want it to be a thing, it's not going to happen.
But they won the 13
So stop
seconds.
asking.
You know what? In Buffalo, they still worry about it. They still talk about it. First thing they bring up, it's still in their head.
I'm sure it is.
Dancing.
Buffalo, okay, so NFL.com, they did their urgency meter. They had Buffalo number 1. There is zero argument for a team outside of them, right? At the top spot, they have thrown tons of money at it. They have every reasonable reason.
Which is the
they
biggest
have to be
reason not to
desperate
give their coach an extension.
because they're desperate.
Until they do something.
But honestly, if Andy Reid was the coach of Buffalo over the last 3 years, you think he definitively wins the Super Bowl with their roster?
Huh?
How many coaches do you think, if they swatched with Sam McDermott, is guaranteed a Super Bowl win in Buffalo?
The way he said, huh, was just like, you don't hear that often on radio. Just like,
huh?
What? Didn't catch that.
Hey, man, I'm from the show me state, man. Show me before you get it, man.
How many coaches, if they had switched positions with Sean McDermott with identical rosters over the last 3 seasons, would have won a Super Bowl is what I'm asking.
Not a bunch, but Andy Reid probably have 2. If Andy Reid was in
I get
Buffalo,
it,
he
but
would have 2.
how many Andy Reids are floating around there? This is like saying get rid of Josh Allen because there's 3 quarterbacks better than him.
McDermott's a defensive-minded guy, and what let him down in the playoffs?
I guess, is that your biggest hang-up? The fact that he's defensive-minded with an offense that needs to be better
every
than that?
one of their meltdowns have come with their defense. It's that simple. Don't make me play the Grim Reaper again. Because you know I want to.
No, please don't.
You know I want to.
Let's talk about urgency. Here's the other teams on the list, by the way.
We need background music.
So they have Buffalo as number 1. They have the New York Jets as the second most urgent team. And when you get a 40-year-old quarterback, you have to be on the list. Philly at 3 is a little surprising to me. Why are you in a hurry with a quarterback you've signed up long-term and you have a Super Bowl win in the last 5 or 6 years? What urgency is Philadelphia?
Philadelphia's under no urgency. Matter of fact, that team we'll see what they can do now. Because everybody's talking about Philly being the dynasty. And the biggest question is pay your quarterback. Like Mahomes has been paid. Josh Allen's been paid. What can you do once you paid your quarterback? Chiefs had the highest salary cap going to their quarterback than any winning quarterback in NFL history. So what can you do with the draft? Like 5th rounders and 6th rounders, 7th rounders. Chiefs proved they could win with those guys. So I don't want to hear dynasty talks. Philadelphia's on the clock. You pay Jalen Hurts, we'll see what you can do. Because Chiefs paid Mahomes, we know what they can do. They can go to Super Bowls and they can win them when they're paying their quarterback that money. Like the Chargers on the clock. Bengals are with Burrow and Herbert to get paid. All right, what can you do once you've paid your quarterback? That's what I put up or shut up, man. I hear about these. You got to pay your quarterback. Well, pay your quarterback and win. Then we'll talk. This is what makes it more impressive what the Chiefs have done because they paid their quarterback and they're still fighting a way to win.
And they don't have that urgency. I'll tell you what, though. A time when they did have urgency. 13 seconds.
Now you're doing it? Is it the same
It's Grim be the Grim Reaper.
Give me some cowbell, Cody. Give me some cowbell.
Why is this 5 minutes long?
And Mahomes at his own 36. Down by 3.
This
Three wide to the
was
right, 1 wide to the left.
2.5 years ago.
Tyreek Hill up to 45. Angling right 40. 35. Cheetah. 25. 20. 15. 10. 5. Touchdown. Kansas City. A 64.
Please.
It was 1.5 years ago, by the way.
This entire game, heck of a job, and now you're in a situation where you're behind.
Why is Damon just talking in the middle of this? I thought this was highlights.
I got both of them.
Mahomes.
Did you get clean?
Tyreek Hill, this is the same kind of screen they ran against. Timeout called by the Chiefs. It used 6 seconds.
6 seconds. Here it comes.
Same thing they ran for a touchdown.
They're going to win this game.
Dallas for the 2017 season. It's a 19-yard gain.
Ooh.
The Chiefs had to get much closer. They got to get one
Which sounds
more
pretty
chunk
chill
here.
for, what's getting ready to be one of the greatest comebacks ever.
More cowbell.
And then try to tie it on the field.
The Chiefs practice these scenarios each and every week.
Each and every week.
I thought you said there was 6 seconds left. In the clip or in the
what
game?
Plays to call, how much time it should take. The receiver should catch and drop down quickly.
Chiefs have the ball at their own 44. 8 seconds left, down 3. Safeties are back.
How long?
For the Bills.
We're inside 2.5
Mahomes
now.
takes a snap on the near hash. Goes down the middle to Kelsey, 35, down to the 31. Timeout called by the Chiefs.
Notice this
Timeout
is
at the
musical crescendo.
31-yard line with 3 seconds left, and here comes
Wow.
Butker. A 25
practically
yard pass
moved
play.
from that
Here it comes.
transition.
Put down a
Here it comes.
49-yard
Drama.
try. Placement down. The snap was a little low, but Butker gets a kick up, and he ties the game. Ties the game. We're going to overtime.
Okay, that's enough. Can we stop it now? They tied it.
More cowbell.
I just live in every single one of those guitar licks, too.
You know, a lot of people on the
text.
text line are asking if we can start it over from the beginning. They couldn't hear it because Cody was talking over it the entire time.
No.
Okay, I'm cutting you off.
I don't want it again.
Okay. Press pause on that sucker.
All right.
All right. We're good.
You're not going to play it? Do you promise?
Promise.
Well, there's still about an hour and a half left in the show.
Club 610 is still coming up with our
That's not
our
club
Jay
music.
Rieger drink. What are you making me? What drink are we making?
Old Maid is the name of the drink.
Old
It is
Maid?
personally chosen from Nick.
Okay.
I went back and talked to the drive. I asked Rob and C-Dot. I said, hey, one of you want to do this? And Rob said he would do it. And then he asked what the drink was. And I told him, and he goes, ew, I hate vodka.
But
So now
it's-
C-Dot's doing it.
Wait, that's how this went down?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Rob agreed to do it
Yes.
and then has quit because he doesn't want a vodka cocktail. Not
Yes.
making him just drink straight vodka.
Yes.
Just a vodka cocktail that includes cucumber
That's
and
how he
mint.
said it, too. He's like, I hate vodka.
And we're doing a drinking
I hate
segment
vodka.
today.
And I said, what do you hate about vodka? It's the most inoffensive liquor there is. And he goes, I hate all clear liquor.
Oh, too manly. You know what, Rob? Too big of a nut. Too manly. Too manly to be drinking
Rob,
clear
by the
liquor.
by the way, you'll love this. Rob is wearing a T-shirt on it that says Bush Latte.
Well, because we're doing a drinking segment between 3:30 and 4:30.
Yeah, but Rob's too old to wear a shirt or to refer to them as Bush Lattes. He's an
Rob's
adult.
actually getting married.
He's an engaged adult man.
Engaged,
At
right.
some point, you have to move on.
But I mean, like, so you don't have a problem with him drinking Bush Light or even having a Bush Light T-shirt.
Nope.
You don't like that he calls it Bush Latte and has a Bush Latte T-shirt.
That is correct. That is where I'm drawing the line.
Well, you know what? I don't even think it's that he's too old. That's like a dad joke, you know? Hey, Hey, well, you're in there. Why don't you grab me a Bush latte?
Hey, the text line's asking me to place that on Twitter, the song.
They want that whole song. Fine, they can listen to it there.
We've had to listen to your song.
You're gonna have to subscribe.
Sing, Cody.
You're gonna have to subscribe to Twitter Blue just so you can post the entire 5 minutes of it.
I know. Which
So
I
pay
don't.
the $8 or whatever. I don't know. What's it cost? Anybody know what Twitter Blue costs?
I have no idea.
Pay the $8 and go there. Either way, we're having an old maid drink. It is vodka, lime juice. This is my worst song. Why would you do my worst song? Simple syrup. One more game and it's One more game. The Gates it so much. It's the Super
Dude, turn it off now.
Ninjas just got to do exactly what they did the Bills the first time. The attack they put on Buffalo in 29 states.
All right, when we come back.
They held Josh Allen less passing yards.
No,
we'll get a
no.
random question.
Oh, my God. My ears are bleeding.
When we come back, we'll talk about Sky Moore and Rashee Rice, I guess.
You're listening to Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Subscribe and download all new episodes of Nick's Wavin' in the Wheat podcast, released every Thursday on the 435 Podcast Network and the Odyssey app.
Let me remind you once again why 2 years ago I made a phone call to Dury Vision. Yeah, I was sick of wearing contacts. I was sick of dealing with glasses, remembering the contact solution on a vacation over the summertime. All of that, I don't have to worry about anymore because I did make that phone call to Dury Vision, and now I just wake up and see every single day. Let me tell you again what that whole consultation looks like. It's a free in-depth consultation, and then you're going to have a personalized treatment plan. During that visit, you'll meet with one of their experienced doctors who can discuss your results along with a custom recommendation for treatment, and then you have a procedure. It was about 16 seconds in each eye for me, and the very next day, I was driving right back here to 610 Sports Radio, and now I just wake up and see without contacts or glasses every single day. Give them a call at 913-491-3330 or go online to DuryVision.com, and you can schedule that free consultation. They'll even do it virtually if you need to as well over Zoom. That's 913-491-3330. Or online at DuryVision.com.
Old Johnny Pizza has expanded to the Crossroads with their OSP Express. Go to OSPEXP.com to order, and you can use any third-party delivery system. Located in the Crossroads food stop at 16th and Campbell. Go to OSPEXP.com to order your favorite Old Johnny Pizza.
Up-level your cocktails with J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey, bottled in bond. A double gold medal winner in the world's largest and most prestigious spirits competition. Every bottle is distilled, bottled, and aged for 6 years. All right here at J. Rieger & Co., Kansas City's original distillery.
Hey, this is Rex with KC Real Estate Buyers, and I buy houses for cash. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, grab a pencil. I'm going to give you a very important phone number in 40 seconds. I'm a private real estate investor. I live right here in KC, and I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at KC Real Estate Buyers, we are improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind-in-payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000. Or go to rexbuyskc.com. That's rexbuyskc.com. And I look forward to working with you.
At Anthony, we get the job done right the first time. That's why these are the technicians Kansas Cityans have trusted for over 70 years. Right now, receive a new AC for as low as $59 a month. From Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights, open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Is your check engine light on? Let our professional parts people scan and diagnose the problem for free. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I've been buying wholesale cars for 27 years, and every year, the way I know the market has peaked is my Bradford pear tree blooms. This morning I looked, and it is bloomed. The market is peaking. If you want to sell your car, this is the highest time of the year to do it right now. Just beat a guy today. A CarMax offer $3,000. They offered him $75 on his Corvette. I gave him $78. Why? Because the tree told me to. GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hello, I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. I'm so proud that we've helped over 15,000 businesses claim over $5 billion in cash incentives. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. Every client is assigned a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to accurately determine eligibility. Innovation Refunds has hundreds of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google, and your business might be entitled to receive up to $26,000 per employee. Businesses of all types can qualify, including medical, professional, construction, even nonprofits. Please don't miss out on this. Even your doctor would tell you to get an expert second opinion, and we do a lot of work for doctors. Download the Innovation Refunds app now or go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of $26,000 per employee. GetRefunds.com. GetRefunds.com.
At the Home Depot, we'll get your kitchen clicking. With savings on top brand appliances, like a new LG CounterDepth Max refrigerator with ultra-large capacity on the inside and a seamless look on the outside. Or an LG oven with built-in air fryer for crispier, healthier cooking. Plus, with convenient shopping in-store and online at the Home Depot, your innovative new appliances are just a click away, too. Get special buy savings, plus up to $1,000 off select kitchen appliances like this exclusive LG kitchen package at the Home Depot.
Wendy's is open till midnight or later, so you can give in to the craving and go night mode. Now all of your favorite menu items just got their bedtime extended. You can get what you want even later, like the Baconator with 6 strips of bacon, or the perfect fries and Frosty Duo. If you're up later, then so are we. So go ahead and pull through the drive-thru. When the craving hits, go night mode at Wendy's. Open till midnight or later. All right, see ya later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary.
The 610 Sports Radio phone line is brought to you by Onder Law Injury Lawyers. Visit getjim.com.
Chiefs coverage is brought to you by Renner Garage Door. Forward and back, R-E-N-N-E-R.
Renner Garage Door, servicing and installing garage doors in KC for over 60 years. Family owned and top rated. Residential, commercial, service, and repairs. R-E-N-N-E-R, forward and back. Renner, the company that does garage doors. RennerDoor.com.
Never been more thankful that he didn't come back with Blue Oyster Cult.
Why?
No. We need a brief reprieve. Resist the Urge. There's another song playing.
I'm not going to play it.
From the 785.
Again, though.
Nick, the text line has a question for you real quick, because Club 610 will start in a half an hour. Our guy Harold Kuntz is coming in. Carrington Harrison will come in. I'll make us all some old-made cocktails from Jay Rieger.
He's done a great job.
He said, you're coming in here? You're done for the day over there? Oh, okay. Nick says he's
garnishments, cucumbers, and...
Well, bring your camera at least, you know?
And mint?
And mint?
That's good.
Well, I was putting mint into cucumbers, trying to make the cocktail look good, man.
Presentation.
We don't just, a part of the idea here is that Jay Rieger wants you to know that when you use their vodka, when you use their whiskey, you can make these cocktails at home. Pinkley, you saw how long. It didn't take me that long to make those.
I'll be having one of those watching the wiffle ball tonight.
Oh, you're going to drink one of these tonight, huh?
See you talk some junk.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to. I promise,
Nick.
Talk
some junk to Colquitt.
I promise, Nick, that if I hit a home run against Dustin Colquitt's squad tonight, that I will talk trash to Dustin Colquitt for him in the phrase of keep Tommy Townsend's name out of your mouth. Because as you remember, they got into it. Well, I don't know if they got into it, but briefly, there was some criticism amongst kickers.
Some beef.
A brethren amongst those. And at least that was the question. Nick is coming on this side. He's decided to let the intern handle the board for the rest of the day. Is this just because you don't want to work anymore because it's like Friday, or like? No, that's not it.
I'm not ready yet. I'm not sitting down yet.
Yeah, Nick is. You want to hear the Reaper?
No, he doesn't want to hear that.
You want to hear Cody rap?
No.
Is my mic hot?
No.
Hey, you gotta turn me up.
It's not on.
You probably chose the wrong one.
Hello, hello.
Push the other one.
Tough start.
Now it's on.
It's on. Wait.
It doesn't sound on. Still sounds very off.
Have you turned me up, dude? Quentin, QT.
You may have to.
It's just, I don't even think he can hear you. His microphone is not on. He's now putting his headphones on.
Hello?
Oh.
We can't
Now
hear
we
you,
have
Nick.
two different buttons
Quentin,
on.
I'm not up. You turned me on, but not up.
Oh, hold on. Talk some more.
Hello.
Oh.
See, I think he turned. What is it?
No, you
That
one of
was
those
not on
on.
either. This is the
I
worst
thought
kind
one
of
of those was
radio.
on.
All right, help Quentin. And then I guess I'll ask you the question. I can't believe after all this, he came in here, we were ready to have a conversation.
He was part of this discussion on character concerns. He was part of the discussion, which I want to address because they addressed it with Carrington and Rob.
I think you're both wrong. The question is simple. Who has more pressure on them, Rashee Rice or Sky Moore last year? And the answer is Sky Moore last year. I feel like they wanted more out of him. There was more hype, more hope, more he's going to be a 500 or 600 yard receiver. And in Rashee Rice's case, he is just as far down the depth chart as Sky Moore is. He is just as many wide receivers behind. And now they've already won a Super Bowl without Tyreek. They were still replacing Tyreek last year. That added to the Sky Moore pressure.
I would say this, and again, this is not this year. This is their first year.
It's working, I think.
This is Sky. Yeah, you're good, Nick. This is Sky Moore's first year, Rashee Rice's first year. I went with Rice, and I thought about this for a while, only because there's not been additions. Like when Sky Moore was here, it was bringing in BS, bringing Juju, some of the pressure's off, but there was no additions, but there was a subtraction. The subtraction being Juju. Rashee Rice is the new weapon. I know they bring in Richie James and all that, but as far as the draft, it was Rashee Rice brought in here for the Kansas City Chiefs. That's why I think his pressure is more than Sky Moore, because to quantify it, addition versus subtraction. And Nick and I discussed this on character concerns. I can't remember which episode, but we discussed this whole issue of Rice being more important. And it's not the full body of work. It's the rookie year who had more pressure.
Totally. No, you're just totally right about that.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He doesn't have more pressure on him. You know what? Why else he has less pressure? Because Sky Moore killed expectation. Because now people are like, hey, Rashee Rice comes in here, gets like 250, 300 yards. We're going to be sold here. I'm like, Sky Moore took you all the way down. You were talking about 500, 600 yards for him last year.
Okay. Listen, I'm going to be totally honest with you guys because that's the bedrock of this show. I didn't really catch that whole conversation, and I didn't know what to say when he tossed it to me.
He was talking about who has more pressure on them. Rashee Rice this year, Sky Moore last year.
I wanted to be agreeable. And can you guys hear me okay?
We can hear you
Yeah,
fine.
we can hear you.
Because I feel like I'm not coming in as loud as you are.
You sound great.
Bink sounds good. Cody sounds
You do
like...
sound a little like maybe you're talking into a microphone next to that microphone. Maybe just needs to turn you up.
That mic is on.
Microphone's
Maybe Quinn just needs to crank you up.
Crank it all the way to the top. Make it as loud as it goes. Just push that pot all the way up.
Ooh, that sounds better.
And here I am.
We can hear
That
you.
sounds, you have arrived. The
Listen.
question on the text line that I was going to get to before you had come back in here was question for Nick. If Nick worked on the drive, would he still be leaving? I just hope the next producer has a backbone and fight back attitude. I like Nick because he keeps Cody in line. So the question is, if you didn't have to work with me, would you quit?
Oh, they're alleging that I'm leaving because
of me,
of you,
and our pushback.
Yes, I would be leaving as well if I were working on the drive. But who knows if I would have even liked working on the drive. I like working on this show. This is the show I want to work on if I'm going to work here.
But you're not because you're leaving.
Right, but I'm just saying that I would never leave this show for another show on the station.
You'll be back.
I'm loyal to my boys.
You'll be back.
I'm loyal to my dogs. My dogs.
He's trying to get us to Barfoot. No. Quickly.
Yep.
That's exactly what he wanted. You gave him exactly what he wanted. He had tried to get us to do that. There was a brief time.
There was a time. You want me to tell it? Or do you
Yeah,
want to
sure.
tell it?
Go
ahead. There was a time when I would walk into the studio in the morning and I maybe didn't sense a lot of energy from my boys, Cody and Alex, and they'd just be in the bullpen, kind of just like, just balls deep in their computer, just sitting there staring at it like, okay, what do we talk about? What's going on Twitter? And I'd say, where's the energy? Right? We're about to go on the air for 4 hours. Kansas City is listening. Where's the juice? So I would walk in and I would say, how about we start doing this new thing to kind of get the juices flowing before the show? And I'll walk in and I'll start saying, where are my dogs at? Where are my dogs at? And then they were supposed to start going like, whoo, 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 and start getting louder and louder. And then I was going to act like I had my dogs on a chain. And they were like,
that's pretty much
and then I let go of the chain, and then they ran into the studio, and then we started the
dogs.
show. The
The
dogs.
dogs.
That's right, but they didn't like that.
No.
Cody and Alex didn't like that idea.
Don't like the canine reference.
We did not like it. So who has more pressure, Rashee Rice or Sky Moore? Not for this year. Sky Moore going into
Let me
last
put it this
year.
way. Who's the bigger dog?
Oh, see, who's
Who's
has
got the
that
dog in
in them? That's the real question. Well, I've seen what Rashee Rice can do on a squat rack, so he's definitely got that dog in him. Listen, the reality is neither one of them really had all that much pressure on them. Sky Moore didn't have any last year, and Rashee Rice doesn't have any this year. These guys are not coming from powerhouse football programs. They're not coming from advanced offenses. Therefore, I am treating Rashee Rice similarly to how I treated Sky Moore in his rookie year, which is this is a developmental year. You are here to learn how to play in the most advanced offense in the NFL. It's almost, to me, it's almost ridiculous that we are putting expectations on these guys that are coming from Western Michigan and SMU respectively to come in and be good right away. You're coming from an offense where they ask you to do one thing, and then just do it over and over and over again. The Chiefs offense is going to ask you to do a variety of things at a highly advanced level. You're not just expected to compete. You're not just expected to play right away. You're expected to perform for a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. Like going from Western Michigan to an Andy Reid-led offense, you're learning a new language. And that's going to take more than 1 year. So I don't really think there's all that much pressure on Rashee Rice. Whatever you give us is great. Hope to see flashes. But in terms of production, I'm not even putting a number on it.
I'm only saying that because, again, it was subtraction. He was the only, I know Richie James came in, but the only guy through the draft that they said, okay, this is our guy. He had pressure on him in college at SMU. He had 96 catches at SMU. Second on that team was 37. Third on that team was 28. He was asked to do everything.
That's going to be a big shift, by the way, for him. All of a sudden, he's going to get like 2 targets a game.
We're talking like 3 more times he was asked to catch the ball than anybody. I mean, that is a huge discrepancy between first, second, and third in catches for that team. He was asked to do everything, but I look at him as the addition. Right now, that is the biggest addition for the Chiefs offensively, wide receiver, because there's no Juju. Again, Juju's gone. So you drafted him. Therefore, I'd put him a little bit more expectations than what you had from Sky Moore last year. Because I thought Sky Moore could develop a little bit behind MVS and Juju. But Rice could be asked to be one of the guys, especially if Tony's not healthy.
How many yards do you want to see from Rashee Rice?
I want to see 550, the same I wanted to see from Sky Moore. How many do I think I'll see? 300.
I think 400.
Text line says, I'm ignorant and off base that Rashee Rice will have 600 yards this year.
I'd be talking about me.
I mean, I'd take that bet. Look, and I always feel like with fans of this, be like, I'm not rooting against. I'd love that.
This person is willing to bet you a bill that Rashee Rice has 600 yards this season.
He's willing to bet $100?
He said, Nick, I'll bet you a bill that Rashee Rice has 600 yards this season. Your take is so ignorant and off base.
You should take that bet.
Wait, I didn't finish. Your take is so ignorant and off base. Signed Rashee Rice. So I feel like that's the only person who would think that my take is ignorant. Ignorant? Dude, he came from SMU.
I mean, that's bigger than coming from Western Michigan, but it's still, from a football program.
Side note, the team owner came from that school as well.
I know, but we've seen so many wide receivers immediately make an impact. And I get it. Some of them came from bigger schools. Like, I look at George Pickens. He wasn't taken in a drastically different part of the draft than Rashee Rice is taken. George Pickens might end up with 1,200 yards this year. He looked the part immediately last year. Andy Reid has had 2 different wide receivers in his history, Macklin and Deshaun Jackson, that immediately had an impact. They're going to draft a wide receiver that eventually just burst onto the scene.
I think this speaks to a bit of a larger issue here with how we talk about wide receivers, and we want the immediate validation that this guy is good. We require immediate validation, otherwise something is wrong with them. You picked the wrong guy.
Part of that is because their recent track record of taking wide receivers who don't do big things early don't turn into. I know Tyreek Hill only had 600 yards, but he was a fifth rounder.
What are we talking about? 6 guys? Like, it's such a small. Devontae Adams didn't cross 500 yards until year 3. And Devontae Adams, the guy we would all universally believe is the number 1 or one of the top 2 wide receivers in the NFL. His first year, he had 38 catches for 446.
Smaller program.
So you'd think, he came from Fresno State. So you would think, okay, didn't have a great rookie year. And if we were doing radio talking about Devontae Adams, what would we be saying today, Cody? We'd be saying, okay, well, he needs to take a big leap in year 2. Otherwise, you missed that pick. If he doesn't take a leap in year 2, that we're going to look back on that as a bad pick. He followed that up with 50 catches for 483 yards. It wasn't until year 5,
but the question
in the NFL until Devontae Adams got 1,000
the
yards.
question
But you're talking about an exception.
But the question is, will he have more pressure on him this year than what Sky Moore did last year?
Look at what Reggie Wayne did at the beginning of his career.
Are you expecting Rice to be better this year than Sky Moore was last year for the entirety of the year? Not just the end, the entirety.
Say that again?
Rice, are you expecting more that you got from Sky Moore?
Huh?
I'm just saying, are you expecting more from Rice in year 1 than you did Sky Moore in year 1? That's the question.
No.
So you expected more from Sky Moore when you brought in receivers, and you lost one this year.
Yeah, I guess. I don't remember.
Reggie Wayne by year 2 had 716 yards. So it's pretty good.
Hit 345 yards as a rookie.
I'm just saying, by year 2, though, he had 716. That's not your best example of.
No. That's not what I'm saying, Cody. I'm saying that there are no conclusions to draw on a player based off their production as a rookie. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Trying to draw these grand sweeping conclusions, because that's fun to do, because it makes these conversations way easier to talk about. If you do this, you're good. If you don't do this, you're bad. If you don't do this in year 1, it was a bad pick. This team needs this. It doesn't, though. Wide receivers take time to become the guys they end up becoming all the time. There are countless examples of it. So to say that, like, we need to see a certain level of production from these guys in year 1, especially when, A, you're coming from a group of 5 school, and B, you're walking into the most advanced offense in the NFL, I think it's just a little silly to put these expectations from a production standpoint on what you want to see. You know what I want to see? I want to see you by the end of the year look more comfortable than you did at the beginning of the year. I want to see the coaching staff trust you more at the end of the year than they did at the beginning of the year.
And they were looking for excuses to give Sky Moore the ball. They were just trying to do it through the wrong means last year when they kept him in punt and kick returns and all those things that made us sweat.
But Andy Reid wants you to play in the slot, play outside, and he wants you to be able to play everything and do every discipline as a wide receiver. Like, you have to learn it all. So if he has to grab you and you plug and play, he wants you to be able to do it all.
Yeah, and in the middle of the year last year when they needed that, when McCall Hardman got hurt, they just let Justin Watson do it.
No one's going to sniff
you do it.
No one's going to sniff 1,000 yards. We know that, except for Kelsey. It's going to be 2 straight years leading. They're the only team
Define
over
sniff.
300 yards
inside of
passing.
100. Like anyone over 900 yards, you would qualify as sniffing 1,000 yards.
Juju
right?
probably would have got it last year if he wasn't hurt, but I think 800 would be the tops from any wide receiver this year.
By the way, if that's going to be from someone, it has to be Richie James or Sky Moore.
MVS would probably be 650 to 7.
Yeah, I was like, if anyone ever argues MVS, I'm like, he's been in this league a really long time, and he's done nothing but play with future Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and yet still somehow he didn't ever come to that. Let's get to the random question of the day.
Random question.
Perfectly fired by the intern, by the way. Just nailed it.
That was good.
Absolutely nailed it, Nick.
That's the easiest thing you're going to do all day, QT.
The easiest thing. For you, Nick, for you, Bink, for you, Quentin. And over on the text line, 913-586-7610. Not a question today, Nick. I wanted to take one random question away from our final few shows together to try to do something for you. You have requested, as we'd mentioned earlier in the show, a handful of people you would be willing to be the guest for your final ever show on July 7th. Mm-hmm. I have feelers out for anyone who might know Ray LaFrance. Turns out no one. He's a ghost. He just doesn't exist.
Who have you sent feelers out to?
That's not important.
Because I feel like I would have an easier
I've gotten,
time
probably. I've gotten an official no from Creed Humphrey. He's busy. He will be in Fresno at that time.
Fresno?
So we are down to Jody Fortson. And what I need you to do, And what I guess I'm asking this is, I need as many people, because we have the best listeners in the world. We've established that many times.
Oh, I like this.
I need as many of you as possible to get on Twitter, tag Jody Fortson, and tell him to come spend 1 hour with us on 610 Sports Radio on July 7th for Nick's final day.
What about Tommy Townsend?
I would accept Tommy Townsend.
Wait, you did accept Tommy Townsend too?
As a consolation prize.
Let's start with Jody Fortson. As many people as possible at Jody Fortson and Nick on social media and ask him to come here on July 7th. Tell
Jody
him to hit
Fortson follows me on Twitter and has tweeted at me before.
What about Vinny Pasquantino?
What about Vinny?
I have not. So Vinny just had surgery. I haven't checked back in. Oh, that was the fifth. That was the fifth guy. You mentioned Vinny.
Yeah.
Vinny just got back from surgery. I have not yet checked in on
the mend.
Yeah, I haven't checked in on his availability for that day since said surgery.
You have a direct line to him. You could get an immediate answer.
What is your last day on a Friday? Is it a Friday?
Yeah, it's July 7th, a Friday.
Got it.
I think Jody, we talked to him at Super Bowl Media Day, and then the video went out, and then he quote tweeted it and was like, and he said, if I'm paraphrasing here, he said, "I'm sorry, Nick. Let's be friends."
That is what he said.
So this is what friends would do, Jody. Like, this is what comes with friendship. There are expectations of maintaining a relationship. And
What if he's on vacation? They start training camp later that month.
if he's on vacation, then,
This is
I
off
would
time.
wonder, could it be moved, or is that vacation pretty set in stone?
He maybe, Jody's trying to grow his role. Maybe he gets to Kansas City a little early.
That would
Starts
be
working
great.
out.
That would be great.
Maybe he'll be here. So,
And I might cry if Jody Fortson's in studio.
you would cry?
I think so. I think so.
Okay. So that's what we need. At Nick Schwart, Nick_Schwart on Twitter, at Jody Fortson, and tell him that Nick needs this. I don't care what you have to tell him. Matter of fact, lie if you have to.
Yeah, my last day, it's my last final wish before I leave. You could even frame it like a dying wish. My 610 Sports Radio career is dying.
Yeah, so by saying it's his dying wish is not necessarily being disingenuous.
Right, exactly.
That's what we're saying. So that I had a random question, but then I thought I needed to push for this instead. And I was going to do it in the last segment, then Binkley kept playing the Reaper.
What did he keep playing?
I didn't want to say it out loud because I just thought I was going to will it into existence.
There we go.
Do you even like this song?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when it's grim, be the Grim Reaper. And go get it.
Cowbell.
This is an objectively ridiculous song.
I like how he just muttered cowbell.
He's referencing the SNL skit, clearly.
Well, there's cowbell in the song.
Mm-hmm. It really is.
A lot of people don't know
Mississippi
that.
State. Mississippi State cowbell.
Wait.
They do the cowbells every touchdown, whatever.
Yeah, he's
First
right
down.
about that.
Sometimes I think you have Tourette's, Bank. You just shout, we're in the middle of another thing and you're like, Mississippi State! And I'm like, wait, what is this going to be about? What is
He's
this?
right. When he's
Chris
right, he's
Jones
right.
went to Mississippi State.
Bulldogs.
This is not helping the exact thing I was just talking about. This is just now random facts connected by nothing.
Hey,
Cowbell.
Hey, R.I.P. Mike Leach, man.
Yeah.
Moment of silence, please.
For Mike Leach.
Now we got to start it over.
I don't want to start it over. We can't do moment of silences on radio. They don't work.
Okay, moment of silence for the recently deceased Mike Leach.
Cheddar, mozzarella, Havarti.
Damn it, Cody.
Cream cheese, Colby Jack. Did I say Gruyere? Blue, Swiss.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Couple more times, man, before you're gone. You did declare it your favorite drop yesterday, so.
Yeah, it's always
working
always
towards
brings a smile to my face.
Let's take a break a minute early because our guy Harold Kuntz is here. He's going to join us for Club 610. We're making J. Rieger cocktails coming up next here on 610 Sports Radio.
Cody and Gold on 610 Sports Radio, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
Hey guys, it's Nick. For the past 3 months or so, I've been starting every day the same way with 213 Flashpoint. I used to be a huge coffee drinker, and now I couldn't tell you the last time I've had a cup. 213 Flashpoint is an energy supplement, but unlike coffee, it does so much more than simply wake me up in the morning. It's designed specifically to curb your cravings and increase your metabolism. So now when 10 o'clock hits, I'm not heading to the snack bar to grab donuts or a bag of chips. I can actually make it to the afternoon when it's time for lunch. For my fitness journey, that's huge. I've always done a decent job of sticking to my workout routine, but sticking to a diet has always been a constant challenge for me. I'm happy to say for the first time, I'm eating healthy and I'm staying away from junk food, and it's thanks in large part to 213 Flashpoint. When the guys at Supplement Superstore introduced it to me, I had no idea how massive it would be in my life. Now it's a part of my everyday routine, and I am never looking back. If you want to make this year different, give 213 Flashpoint a try. Check it out at any of the 8 Supplement Superstores locations in the KC metro area.
Barbecue Whiskey Hotline, how can I help you? You're looking for a delicious barbecue whiskey that fires up any party? With the sweet, smoky, mind-blowing taste of a barbecue Bloody Mary? The exceptional and unforgettable flavor of a smoky pineapple margarita? Yeah, that would be Curveball Barbecue Whiskey. Curveball with a K. That's Curveball Barbecue Whiskey. Delicious barbecue meets the smooth taste of American whiskey. Happy to help.
Drink Curveball and be a bonehead responsibly. Over 21. Find Curveball at Target, Hy-Vee, and Lucas Liquors, or ask your liquor store for Curveball Whiskey. That's Curveball with a K. Curveball Barbecue Whiskey.
Outdoor America with Tommy Bench, Saturday mornings on 610 Sports Radio at 5 a.m. and the Odyssey app. This week, Tommy answers your questions. Outdoor America, presented by Wholesale Batteries, the right battery the first time.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's. So thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code FLEXIBLE at checkout. That's harrys.com, code FLEXIBLE. Enjoy!
Ground shaking forces will rumble the Menards NHRA Nationals presented by Pet Armor, August 11th through 13th. Get your tickets today at NHRA.com for the Menards NHRA Nationals presented by Pet Armor, August 11th through 13th.
Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about Dan Dan the Wedding Man. Why rent a suit or tux when you could buy one from Dan Dan? Only $250 gets you a custom tailored suit or tux. And as always, Dan Dan has free alterations for life. It's the day your partner will remember for a lifetime, and it's a suit you can use for a lifetime. Best day, best look with Dan Dan the Wedding Man at 97th and Quivira. Online at dandantheweddingman.com or call 541-1192.
You've never had anything like Kentucky Fried Chicken's new chicken nuggets. They're so good, you'll hear a random choir singing every time you open the box. Don't believe me? Just listen. Box open.
KFC chicken nuggets. KFC.
Box close. Open.
Original recipe and ready. KFC.
Close. Can we get a remix? Order KFC's new chicken nuggets on the KFC app today. That's finger looking good. Prices and participation may vary.
Get in zone. AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So, you've got an oil change coming up. Consider STP Conventional to save on motor oil for your everyday vehicle. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP oil filter for only $26.99. Get the complete job done at the right price at any of our 6,200 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in zone. AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
You're listening to 610 Sports Radio from the Max Motors Studios.
Hey, it's Royals first baseman Vinny Pasquantino, and you're listening to 610 Sports Radio.
KCSP Kansas City, WDAF HD2 Liberty. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Club 610. Here on Cody and Gold. Cody Tab, Jay Binkley with you. Nick Strode.
All right, pop that down a little bit, Quentin. There we go. There we go.
Also, my headphones are not working great, so I'm just going to work on
Keep
this for just a
jamming,
minute.
Quentin.
I smell the mint and the cucumber.
Well, I'm going to work on that drink here now, so you guys talk amongst yourself about Rasheed Rice. Harold Kuntz with us.
No, I want to talk
for
about
Club
clubs.
610.
Harold, when's the last time you just recreationally went to a nightclub?
Let's see.
Hey, turn him way up. Turn him way up, Quentin. Just jack these mics up.
Oh my! When's the last time? I may have the first year I was here gone to someplace in P&L. That was it.
What is that one called? Mosaic? I think
that's
so.
the popular one.
Johnny's Tavern.
That's not a
that
club.
one. It's not a club. Maybe Jay Binkley's version of a club.
Dude, I have.
It's pretty rocking.
Yeah.
I feel like every friend group has this. I think I have that one guy in my friend group. If we ever go out of town for a golf trip or a bachelor party,
Yeah.
we're all out of the club phase. Have been out for a long time, but there's always that one guy that's like, "Let's go to a club."
Yeah.
Like, dude, I don't want to wait in line, spend $25 on drinks.
Actually, I went to I just remembered now. I went to because I remember. I went to Vegas for a convention, and somebody coerced me to go into one of those Vegas clubs. I mean, it's techno, lasers.
Oh, yeah.
Sparklers on the drinks.
Oh,
I'm just
yeah.
sitting here like, why am I here?
I'm too old for this.
I'm
way too old for
That's
this.
when I just realized, man, I'm washed.
That's why I feel like Johnny sometimes,
You're too old for Johnny's?
No.
Sports bar.
What did I tell you? You
You're
have
like
to have
87 and not be too old for Johnny.
You have
That's
to have-
designed for older people.
Well, maybe I'm old. Then you have to have drink specials. The staff needs to know what games are on. So if you say, hey, can you put on the Travelers? They know exactly where to go.
Yeah, that's true.
Or just different games.
Your obsession with bartenders knowing which
Very
games are
important,
on which
very important.
channels is always interesting to me.
Because I went to the Mall of America once up in Minnesota and went to a bar up there, and they knew what game was coming in. Like if it's NBA or college basketball, they knew which game was coming in the final 30 seconds, which could take a long time, which team's in the lead, and they knew the products.
I tried to make 5 drinks at once. I was like, I don't want to make these 3 and 2.
Hear the sloshing.
But it's too many. It's just too many drinks to make in one shaker.
Fresh produce.
You should hear that.
It does smell nice in here.
It smells cucumbery. I was going to mention that last segment.
So true story. When I was in college, actually this was graduate school.
You got to bob your head, Harold.
Yeah, this is when I was at Syracuse. It's funny you mentioned bars. So the nascent Big Ten network was when I was in graduate school, and they had this game Appalachian State versus Michigan on. My roommate was a Michigan alum who was in law school at Syracuse. And he was furiously looking for Applebee's or Chili's or whatever that showed the Appalachian State Michigan game on this premium cable network called Big Ten.
It's important.
Somebody found it, and so he's watching the game, and we all know what happened in the game. And here's the tie-in with what Cody's doing. After they lost, I thought one, he was about to drive off a ledge, but two, he went home and got the tequila and diligently started slicing limes, like the most concentrated I've ever seen a human being slicing limes in my entire life. Like he was just like, and it was just like he's just lining shots, like the whole bottle, all the shots. I was like, he's not going to make it to the end of the day. Like
The tequila shots?
He's not going to make. Yes,
Cody, you're spilling everywhere, man.
I know.
Bartenders should always know which games are on, which games people might be going to watch, and put them on the different TVs. Hey, which game would you like to watch? You ask people whether it's on the patio or inside, because people are there probably to watch the game, make them feel comfortable, and not make them bolt to
I had to get
bar.
enough out of it. I shouldn't have made 5 in a time.
And
Great
not the
Wi-Fi
ice,
for
dude,
fantasy.
You need rocks in those glasses.
I was going to put that in after.
I mean, but football's the easiest one, though.
No, it is.
I mean, or
but,
March
but
Madness.
college football gets a little more difficult because then you really got to select.
FS1.
Because people do like the game sound too.
ESPN
I know
Plus.
they want to play their music in the jukebox and all that, but we want to hear the game.
Well, if you want to hear the game, if that's important to you, then just watch at home.
I do usually. If I really care about the game, I like to be alone.
I agree with that.
Totally alone.
I
Super Bowl
can't-
doesn't matter. Alone.
I can't watch a Chiefs game in public because I can't even do like watch parties with my friends.
But if it's like Fresno versus Hawaii, I'm fine. Let's go to the sports bar and watch it. You know.
Same. If it's like the college football
Like,
national
there's
championship.
sometimes where it's like, okay, let's say KU's on FS1, K-State will be on ESPN2, and then Mizzou's on SEC Network. And you're like, oh, I might as well go to a bar if they're all playing at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Beer specials, nacho specials,
Yeah.
and which damn game's on.
Yeah.
That's the important stuff.
Bowl
Harold.
season. Bowl season is a great time to go too.
It's the important times.
And then March Madness is perfect because
Knowledgeable
everybody
staff.
Everybody knows. That's where you find out when True TV is on and figure out TNT and TBS and CBS.
I have a couple buddies who have the good setup in their basement now, which I'm worried. I'm about to move in with my girlfriend, and I have friends who do like the multi-TV setup. And of course, they're all bachelors, or they have like a little man cave in the basement. I don't think my girlfriend's going to go for that. I don't think she's going to
I think
allow
that's
like
a deeper conversation there, man.
Why wouldn't she
probably.
allow that? Come on, man. You're moving to Denver.
Because I don't think
Get a
I do
second
think you
damn
should.
TV.
I do think you should just like be like, this is the one thing I want. I want.
Come
this
on,
thing.
man. Non-negotiable.
You're doing a big
Okay,
thing.
A
do
big
you-
solid.
You
Do
gotta
you
have
have
your room.
Do you have your room?
Yes.
And what's the setup?
It's very bland. Have not designed it yet. It's
But-
just my room.
But it's Harold's place.
The only thing I have in it is I have like a taped up Nerf basketball net, like one of those little mini basketballs, and I just go there to just pawn and thought while shooting bricks.
Okay, so
Get him
is-
a place to chill.
Is this like so? Okay, so is this like a recreational, like watch sports room, or like an office type situation?
Well, my wife has her office.
Okay.
She's got more of an office than I have more of like a room. If you see what I'm saying.
Okay,
I
yeah,
didn't
yeah,
need
yes,
much.
yes. Oh, you're right.
I mean, like,
right.
I can't really do much at home. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's
just need a
true.
computer half the time. So yeah. It's just,
I told her I was like, I want to have like a sports themed room, because they make fun of me. Everything hanging on my walls in my current apartment is sports
are
themed.
you getting a 2-bedroom apartment?
Yes.
Okay, that's crucial.
That's why I want the second room to be like my sports themed room.
I had a man cave when I was married, and that's where the second Christmas tree went with all the sports ornaments. But it's very duded up. You can do whatever I want.
Duded up.
You have a bathroom down there, a separate beer fridge. You get to sip it, but a man needs a place sometimes just
The key is a
decompress.
beer fridge.
And I always know which damn games are on, which
Yes.
is big help.
Here
You got to stop talking about the games being on. You got to stop talking about
to
it.
the games being on. He won't let that part
Cody,
go.
you keep it up, and we're playing Grim Reaper.
All right, Cody, I saw the menu on. What is this again? The Old Maid?
Dude, look at the presentation. I made him.
he really went all out.
Oh, I made him do it. I told him if he was making the drinks.
Mint, cucumber, simple syrup, vodka. The whole thing. You know, come in here, you get a real drink.
Okay. Have you tried it yet?
No, I haven't. And it's not properly strained because I didn't have the right barware. But
It smells good.
That's all right.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers to you guys.
refreshing.
Oh, you made that strong.
Well, you can really smell that mint with that cucumber. A nice
good.
little taste.
That is good.
Good.
You said too strong?
I said you made it strong.
Who doesn't like a good strong
no,
drink?
No, I would rather have a strong drink than a watered down one.
How many shots of vodka is this?
You get like an ounce and a half each.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
more than that's more than that.
I always do three. Always do three in a Bloody Mary. 3 shots.
Oh, I'm
of
sorry,
vodka
2 ounces.
every time. 3.
2 ounces, Nick.
It's mixed. Look,
You're not a big
If
cock-
you're gonna go to Denver, you're gonna have to eventually start playing ball.
Did you hear about Denver, Harold?
I'm not to start what?
Did I hear about Denver?
Well, Joe Laurie was talking about last night. The Red Rocks had all that
Oh, yeah.
hail,
It was
and then they
going
had
crazy.
tornadoes the next night. Real good place, man.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, what were you saying?
No,
I-
I'm
I-
saying Denver. They
it's unsafe.
They knock them down too.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm ready for it.
One of my favorite, like Denver has a full-on blue. They got the Blue Moon Brewery there.
Oh yeah.
And the Coors in Golden. Oh
Mhm.
man,
Yeah, the
you're
Coors
sad.
Brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah, up in Golden.
You get Breckenridge, not too far. They have their own brewery too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's another one down there. I think Ballast Point has a brewery there
Yeah.
too. You can come down. We can do a tour.
Fort Collins. There's a lot
I've
of
done the
good
two
beer in
right.
Colorado.
There's like 2 or 3 that I've done right next to each other where you do New Belgium and Odell and
Odell's. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking about.
I was like,
Odell
all those
Brewing.
are just like right next to each other, just kind of in a grouping together.
Mm-hmm.
Harold, do you think Nick's making the right choice? Moving to Denver, quitting the show?
Hey man.
Did your wife ever move for you? You've been in TV.
Yeah, she did.
Okay, so let's.
So
hear
there you
the-
go.
let's
This
hear
is the right person
All
to
right,
ask
let's hear
about.
the backstory. Where did you guys meet?
Oh, we met when we were in middle school.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
like high school sweethearts deal?
Middle school.
Middle school.
Middle school sweethearts.
Wait, so you started dating in middle school?
No.
Or just knew each
I
other
actually
in middle school?
knew each other, but I started dating her in college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's about the same. You've known Lindsay as far back as like college or high school, right?
Yeah, I've known her for about 12 years.
He probably wouldn't have wasted a trip to the Eiffel Tower without asking her.
Right. Yeah.
point.
Well, I don't know about that. We don't need to get into all that right now.
Did you do it?
No,
You
I
did,
didn't
didn't you?
do it. I wouldn't
Well, you told me you
lie
did.
about it. No, I didn't.
Why are you smiling?
You
Why
just
you're
told-
smiling because
Here's
you're
the
laughing
biggest
because you're
question.
lying.
Here's the biggest question of the entire. Do you love her?
Of course, yes.
Boy, it has been really awkward if that answer was no all of a sudden.
Have you
Like, what
bought
are you
a
doing?
ring?
Back to you on that.
No, there's a difference between like, do you love her or do you love her? If you see what I'm saying.
I'd let
You
Kadarius
know.
Toney give her the ring.
Yeah, like
Yes.
Let Kadarius Toney give her the ring.
Yes,
Is there future plans involved in this?
Yes.
There's okay. We're
Yes, I'm going to marry her, and this
How do you
is
know
all-
you are?
Well, I mean, she has to say yes, but
Yeah.
Exactly.
See, you're the most pessimistic. Imagine if Jay Binkley was like your relationship your couples therapist.
A lot of people ask for my advice
they
around
would all
here.
end in a divorce.
Rob Britton asked for my advice.
He'd say end it. He'd say just end it.
That's what he's told you now twice.
Yes.
Both now, as you're getting ready to move, that it will end.
I think
Because he's moving.
That's just his way of saying you're moving and he misses you.
That's exactly right. He's lashing out
He'll
because
be back.
he's going to miss me.
He'll be back.
That's exactly right.
2 years, he's back.
You think so?
Yeah, I do.
Don't worry, one positive
Plus
Broncos
300
tweet from you, and then all of a sudden it's over.
Never.
It's
We have
done.
odds on
I've
you.
told him this. I've said this to everyone. I think I will be more emboldened because I'm going to be surrounded by Broncos fans, and I will develop a disdain for the Broncos in a way that people who live in Kansas City won't be able to understand because I will see them every day. I will see that orange and blue, that hideous logo on a daily basis, and it's going to drive me nuts.
You think it's going to motivate you even further to
Yes.
hatred.
I mean, imagine if you were a Broncos fan living in Kansas City.
My dad is a Broncos fan,
Let's rock.
and he lives in Kansas City.
And?
I think I think there's been times leaving Arrowhead when it's gotten dicey.
Does your dad talk smack?
No. And my brother's a Broncos fan, so I have two Broncos fans
So
in my
wait,
family.
how does it get dicey if they're not?
It doesn't matter. You know this is. If you just walk around in your Creed is Good shirt in Denver, there'll be people who will think about spitting on you, but instead they'll just say mean things. That's how fandom works in opposing cities in which they
Sort of.
really hate you.
They're
Sort
nice.
of, but you
This is
can't.
in Philadelphia?
Yeah, what do you say to the Chiefs guy wearing Chiefs gear when they've just absolutely crushed your ass
Yeah.
the last decade?
Yeah, you don't have much. This is a bad time to trash talk if you're a Denver fan.
Exactly.
Like, look at all of our Super Bowl rings. You're like, we don't care anymore. We have all the ones recently.
You're the worst team in football.
And we've
What are
got the
you gonna
World
say to
Cup.
me?
They don't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
There he goes again.
Same.
All of a sudden, huge soccer fan.
And we don't
Kansas
exactly
City-
have tornadoes either.
Kansas City beat out Denver and Nashville.
Yep.
Those are like the two competing cities.
We did.
They beat them. And the United States got the Club World Cup too. So it's like they got like 3 international tournaments and.
Oh, for
Three
your
straight
last
years.
15
Yeah.
for the Broncos.
Well,
against the
maybe
Chiefs.
Harold can give you future marital advice, since it sounds like his wife was willing to move, just like you're willing to move to Denver.
Yeah.
Harold's
Maybe he
the
can
right
give
guy to
you.
ask.
Okay, so where'd you guys move from?
Well, she moved from Nashville. I was in Oklahoma at the time.
And you convinced her to live in
Whoa,
here
wait.
or in Tulsa. So you guys were long distance.
Yeah.
How long did you do long distance for?
Oh man, we did long distance for 8-9 years.
He is Nick, could you have made it 8 or 9 years long distance?
You're the perfect person to be talking to.
This is actually, I didn't realize what a perfect guest Harold ended up being.
No,
So
Harold
you guys were
did not
long
move.
distance for 8 or 9 years, then moved together to KC? You convinced her to leave
She
Nashville?
moved to Oklahoma. She moved to Oklahoma.
You convinced her to leave Nashville to live in Tulsa?
Yeah.
I mean, look, you live there, maybe you liked it, but Tulsa sucks.
Bible Belt. Bible Belt.
You didn't like Tulsa, right? This is way better.
This is better. Yeah. Tulsa's fine though. People are nice.
So, but you were not already living in Tulsa.
No, I was living in Tulsa.
Oh, you were.
Yeah.
And she moved there
Yes.
simply to make it happen between you guys.
By the way, if anyone needs a second, I guess Carrington's not coming to Club 610. and
Well, no,
there's
I told him 1:30.
Oh, okay.
He's got to get ready for his show.
It's like there's an extra cocktail.
The biggest difference, though, is Harold did not move.
But his now wife moved for him.
But she
Which is different
she knew
than
the
you.
job that entailed. Like she knows enough in television to probably work in television. She's an accountant. I do not know enough accounting to work in accounting.
Right.
Here's the one thing I'm learning about. But people who work in creative fields and have long distance relationships is they need stable, normal people to go with. Like Lindsay is a responsible person who works in pharmaceuticals. She's an accountant. You need some sort of balance. Otherwise, if it were two chaotic people who worked in
What does she do?
media, it would never work.
She is in patient advocacy for a pharmaceutical company.
Boom.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
You're good.
Exactly.
Sounds like this is actually, you're looking to your future.
And much like you
Harold,
probably,
very successful relationship.
And much like you probably experienced, like we're entering this stage knowing that like 5 years from now, we may be looking to move somewhere else. Because you know how this industry is.
Yeah.
Like you want to find a home and make it your home, and if it works out, then that's awesome. But
But you're moving together. Yeah.
exactly, wherever we go,
Like when
we'll
we
be
moved
together.
to Kansas City, we moved together.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Rent but don't own, Nick.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I like he just from the cheap seats just keeps throwing out these one-liners.
I mean,
I don't know, honestly.
first, then, then go home.
Yeah, rent. But
Oh,
don't
you
own.
mean like as you're moving together? Sure, but eventually owning a house is nice. There's benefits in it.
All you do, if
You
I
get
could,
your man room.
I would get my
A
man
bigger
room in
man
this
room.
situation. Cody, all you do on this show, I would say 90% of this show is you complaining about things that have went wrong with your home and things that you have to spend your time fixing.
Like when I fixed the dryer?
Yes.
YouTube.
You
It
said
only
you were
took-
up at 11:30 the other night taking apart your dryer, watching YouTube videos, and
Second-
blowing it out with a leaf blower.
That's what dads do.
And then and now it works. And many years later, I'll
about the
have
fun.
thousands of dollars, maybe.
Exactly. Think about the fun involved in that, though.
That does sound like a blast.
Taking apart a dryer.
Get yourself 2 cold ones and just start figuring out how to fix a
I
dryer.
guess I'm a washer repairman now.
You know what that's called? That's being an adult male.
Would you host me?
Oh, wait, are you a handyman?
No.
Okay.
I'm not great.
I'm the most handy member of Cody and Gold. I'd like that on the record.
Sure.
That's another thing about renting. You just call and be like, hey.
That's what I
fix
love
this.
about
Yeah.
renting. I've
Yeah.
never owned a home, and I love just not having to fix anything.
Would you let me come out there and drink beer and stay at your place?
That sounds amazing, man. I would love for you to just come and just hang out for a
Would
week
you?
or two. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
We'll have a spare bedroom. So I've already offered it up. I have a standing offer to.
Good.
He
Any
told
of
me
my
not to abuse
cohorts?
it, but he did say that I could stay.
Well, I said not to abuse it because the way that you approached it, you just said, "Can I come stay whenever I want?" I said, "Well,
I would ask.
let's talk about it."
Maybe give me a heads up.
Yeah.
So you're saying I can't just show up and
Because
stay?
I feel like that's what you would do.
How
Say,
far
I'm
are you
gonna be
from the
in-
airport?
About 35, 40 minutes. About the same I am now. What do you
Might as
say?
well drive.
That is driving.
You live in the Northland, so
Hey,
you're.
that's one thing about Denver. Airport, not close.
Okay, Harold does too,
Yeah,
and
but
so
I
does
live-
Cody. So be careful about the Northland.
But
here.
I live in Overland Park, so it's already 40 minutes for me to get to the airport.
Denver's airport is far.
Yeah, it's way outside of town.
Not near anything.
That's what everyone says about Kansas City's airport too. That's not
I
different.
live by the airport here. So
The closest people who live to our airport live in Platte City. They're not, like
Yeah,
it's
but
not.
Where you live, Gladstone?
Gladstone.
And you live, what, 15 minutes away?
Probably 20, 15, 20
I
minutes
live
away.
probably 5 minutes.
Oh, you're like there. Oh, okay.
Well, he lives near Zona Rosa. So
Okay, yeah.
if you're living up that way, then
Yeah,
you're.
Actually, you know what? No, you're not
Park
invited.
Hill High School. Shout out.
You're not invited to my
Why?
place because you've never invited me to your place, and we've worked together for 2 years.
Well, I've had one of my places flooded out.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
That was recent.
Harold's been to my house, and you've been to my house.
Yeah, multiple times.
I've known Harold for a long time.
And only one of the times I've been to your house did I come away with a deathly illness.
You were fine.
I played poker over at Cody's.
Yeah, Harold played poker.
Harold was there.
Yeah.
You were fine, Nick.
We had the great nachos Cody made.
Yeah, after about 48 hours. I was fine.
We laughed at all the backup quarterbacks in the preseason game. It was great.
Pete
Oh, yeah,
Sweeney
we just-
won money.
Yeah. That's not unusual.
Well, Pete Sweeney will just stay until
yeah, that's not unusual.
Last time
does win
Pete-
money.
Pete Sweeney swore to me that he will no longer play poker drunk after the last time he came to my house playing poker.
Yeah, I was there.
And it did not go well.
He just stays as long as possible and keeps trying to dig himself out of a
Not
hole.
good. You got to know when to stay now.
And
No.
Pete will get this kind
He
of
got down bad.
And he will get this like zeroed in look on his eyes where it's just like he's not even enjoying himself anymore. He's just solely focused on getting himself out of the hole that he's dug. It's bad luck.
It was not.
I'm starting to. I have concerns about Pete Sweeney's gambling.
My PayPal the next day was like, "What happened? What did we do last night? And why is
Money
there
in, money
so
out,
much?
money in, money out.
Why did I? Well, like what happened was like I just kept digging into my cash that I have like on the side for like. We talking about like have a man room.
Yeah.
I just have like an envelope full of money that is just for like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have to like dig back into the checking account. I win or I lose money. It goes back into the bag, the Blanton's bag, and it just goes right back in there or gets taken out of there. So I just kept pulling more money out to buy Pete into the game because I was like, well, he'll Venmo me and I'll get it later. And then when I looked at my Venmo the next day, I'm like, oh my God, what did we do? How much money did I put onto the table? Am I in like $800 between him and one other person who's buying back in? I'm like, I was fronting way too much money here, I think.
Yeah.
I
You
lost
gotta
my ass, too.
allocate money to be like, all right, I can do whatever I want with this.
Yeah.
We're good.
When are we playing poker again?
Should we play soon? Should I have put that on the? Should that have been a? Could we have made some money for the Negro League Baseball Museum if we had put that on the garage sale?
Well, do
Poker
you,
at my house.
Oh, that would have been great.
Are you comfortable inviting people you don't know
I
into
would
your
just-
home with your children?
I would just set a minimum. You know, you got enough money on, you'll probably be fine. And I'll just make sure the kids aren't there that day.
We'd watch them.
So if someone's willing to spend, let's say, $200,
Just to come play poker at my house, it's probably okay.
Yeah.
Because if they have $200,
I don't know.
There must be a good person.
You know what it is?
If money's going to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum.
I gotta risk it.
I'm going to lose a lot of hands. So
yeah, exactly.
Someone paid $330 to go drink with me.
I know.
At Cinderblock. So
that's a hot item.
$330?
Yeah, just to go have a few drinks.
At Cinderblock? Good place.
Yeah. Last year we did it, and then we talked SEC football the entire time with Zach, his dad.
It's impressive.
It is fun.
Who won it this year? Do you know the guy?
I do not know the guy, but Cody said he bid on a couple things. He's the one that won the Monarch Suite.
He won the Monarch Suite too?
Yeah, the guy that did the Monarch Suite bought the Beers the Bing thing.
I'll say this guy's got some money.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
That Monarch Suite didn't go cheap.
I just need to go direct to that guy next year.
He's going to play poker at my house and just give me like $200 for the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum. You just come on over.
But he bought the Monarch Suite and beers.
Should the experience include him getting some chips on the table though? Shouldn't it?
Well, yeah, you have to include your buy-in.
Yeah, I would think like you could try to win your money back. That's the best part about that experience. You still have a chance to call.
It's your money at that point.
Yeah, but I don't mind donating $50 to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, like for his buy-in, if that's what gets it done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean.
To me, anything I buy, like, because occasionally I'll buy stuff like that, I see at a garage sale for it. I don't care. It's like, this is me making a $6 donation to the Negro League Baseball Museum, is the way I see it. I'll get more money for the museum at the end for whatever I'm picking up. It works out fine.
By the way, did we ever settle for the check? Are we going to buy one of the big cardboard checks to give to them?
Tough say. Harold, is it worth giving the museum $200 less or $80 less to get a big, cool check?
Like the big cardboard ones?
No. I never liked the big cardboard checks.
But they're great for photo ops.
You've seen Happy Gilmore, right? Where they like, just give him the check on the side. Like, here, you won like $76,000. Fine. Does the check clear? Yes. Okay, thank you.
I thought somebody was giving it free.
But here's a scenario.
All right.
We should just write one up on poster board.
We call the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and say, hey, we're going to come by on Tuesday. We're going to give you this check. And Harold Kuntz comes out to cover it for Fox 4. And
well, it depends on how
more attention for
there's how many zeros are on that check?
4.
There are 4 zeros.
Wait.
All right. You might get Harold Kuntz's presence.
10K? Come on, 10K?
You might get Harold Kuntz's presence. I got an appearance fee for these type of things.
Every local TV station was like covering the NBA draft like it was the Super Bowl last night. I know you're hard up like we are. You tell me you're not covering a $10,000 check?
Well, okay, anytime there's an opportunity to talk to Bob Kendrick.
See?
Right.
Perfect.
Bob would have to be there. Bob or Kiana. We're going to need somebody to show up to accept this check.
But for that shot that you're putting on the evening news, that big cardboard check.
By the way, I really appreciate you calling it the evening news. Like it was very formal, but anyway.
The evening news.
The evening news.
I'm pumping it up a little bit.
That's fair.
You know, it looks better on TV to have the big cardboard check than it does just a little tiny check that you can't even see what it's for.
You have to zoom in.
It's all for the photo op.
Yeah,
man.
but I mean, if you do that,
Oh, you know what?
You got to send out the release.
Okay.
Like, you got to make sure this is promoted.
How about we do all that? We do it in like 2 weeks, but instead of a check like everyone does, cash.
Oh, yeah.
Like just $1 bills.
Suitcase?
A huge stack of $1 bills.
You're going to give Bob
briefcase full of money.
Stack of $1 bills?
I'm going to give him a briefcase full of money.
Cash is king.
Big old
Then the old tax man doesn't have to know about it, Bob.
Well, I wouldn't say that. The tax man still needs to know about it.
And then he has to make some magnanimous speech about like how this money is going to make
Dude,
sure
Bob
that,
does
like,
those in
nice
his sleep.
Yeah, you kidding me?
Yeah.
He's not even going to think about it. He could just fire one of those off.
You got to have the magnanimous speech, and then you got to have like the this is going to help us get a rare 1946 artifact type thing. Like,
Do you think we can start
levels to
dictating how he spends the money? Hey, we saw there's a bat for sale. You should buy it.
Yeah, we want that
Use
bat.
our money.
We'll give you this check, but you need to spend some of it on that bat.
We want that bat. We want that to be the Cody and Gold bat, you know?
Yeah.
There's a
Because
bat
over the last 3
sign.
years, we've now given
Yeah.
close to $20,000.
All right, we don't
nice.
brag about it.
That's a pretty good amount of money. I mean, they want $25 million, so we're not helping a lot.
Have you ever
know.
seen that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm where Larry donates a wing to this museum, and he puts
Anonymous.
He puts anonymous. He puts his name on it. The other guy puts anonymous. The anonymous wing donated by Ted Danson. Would you want a wing? If you got, let's say,
Cody Tapp Negro Leagues baseball.
When are they
wing.
hoping?
Given a choice.
Do we know when?
Who doesn't want a wing?
When are they hoping to, like, start building?
I don't know if they've stated a goal for.
Yeah, I don't know the goal yet.
I think
but they've got the design out. So.
I think they've begun the fundraising part of it, but I don't think they've started the like.
So we're several years
that's
away.
a big announcement.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
a massive announcement. Yeah.
So
and their whole thing
let's
is-
say, let's imagine the Cody and Gold garage show keeps growing, and next year makes $15,000, and then let's say like 3 years from now, you guys make $25K, right?
That's an insane amount of money.
It's an insane. But
selling
let's
this random
let's
stuff.
But let's just imagine, the gifts and the experiences get bigger and better as it grows momentum, and then you guys have $25,000. Would you? At what point would you request a wing inside the new building?
I just want a plaque below the bat. I'm asking them to buy. Just
donated generously.
Donated generously by Cody and Gold.
That'd be pretty good.
You know what would make it an even better radio bit is that if it said donated generously by Cody Tap and just Alex's name wasn't on it. So there's just a permanent plaque.
Cody Tap of Cody and Gold.
Cody Tap of
It's just like you're taking sole credit, even though a bunch of people had to donate their time and money and energy.
20 years later, people are like, "Who's the Gold?"
Right. And then you got to explain it to Alex. Like, I don't know.
I told them Cody and Gold. Must have been an accident.
Oops. Well, they can't make a new one.
I mean, they said they'll look into the plaque, but we'll see. We'll see whether or not they.
I really don't think, like, if we're talking years from now, I don't think that. I mean, you went from 3,000 in year one to 7,000 last year, or was?
Yeah, it was somewhere between 6 and 7.
And that was Twitter only.
Yeah,
This is different.
And then this year we did an auction site because we thought we might be able to make more money, and this year we raised a little over 10.
The experiences this year were so much better than they were last year.
Thank you.
Well, some of them were identical. Me and Pete at Kelly's, you golfing.
We had more.
Yeah, we did.
Like the stay and play thing for
Firekeeper?
One of the biggest ticket items was the host your own sports talk show.
Well, and Jay Rieger, who gave us an experience last year, kind of last minute, the ones who sponsor Club 610, they did a tour for, it was four people total. So 6 of us included, and they're like, I can get drinks after, I can go on the tour, it's the whole thing. So, whoever paid.
Jay Binkley, $30, just drink all night with Jay.
Literally, sitting at Center Block and just drinking beer.
I'll tell you right now,
How
that's
long were you there,
going
Jay?
to be in the garage sale every year because there are people every year who are like, the only thing I want to do for the garage sale this year is drink with Binkley.
Have you seen Binkley?
Yeah, how many years?
We've all seen Binkley chug a beer.
Oh. How many hours?
It's worth the price of admission.
How many hours were you guys there last year?
We spent about 3 hours or
So
so.
they're paying you $100 an hour. That is your rate. You now have a rate. You have a rate, $100 an hour.
Well, they had a
great
tab.
gig.
That is a good gig.
We did tab.
Great gig.
He can do it like I was doing to sell getting unblocked in the text line.
Why are you guys only doing this once a year for Jay? You should be doing this once a week for Jay.
know.
Just to get
I'll
Jay
do it.
money.
Yeah,
We
how
just stopped doing it for
Every
charity
Friday.
and instead just
I'll do
start
it.
setting up a way to
Friday,
drink with
Jay
Binkley.
just gets a Drinks with Jay segment, and we just go to town, $100 an hour.
Do it.
Someone paid $170 to come to this soon. Like Club 610. They
Just
wanted
to
a
watch?
personal Club 610. Well, I'll make them a drink and everything, but
Club
a
610?
personal Club 610 invite that came, it was like I think it went for 160, 170 bucks.
Really?
It's wild.
Where are they from? You know?
Here, presumably.
Oh,
Although that guy was trying to get here for like yesterday. He's like, I'll come tomorrow. He was so ready to come. He's like, I'll come tomorrow if you guys will
Big fan.
let me be here. And you're like, well, we might need another minute, but okay.
He paid good money for that.
Yeah.
He did. Well, to ask to come for the next day.
I mean, you put him on the mic, right?
Sure.
All right,
Let him
okay,
have a second.
yeah.
Just tell him no curse words, That's all we ask. Alex broke that rule this week, but I think the rest of us can handle
boy.
it. We come back, we'll do a little more Club 610. We'll talk a little sports as well here on 610 Sports Radio.
You're listening to Cody and Gold.
He's so good, and everyone knows it.
Brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
If you're looking for fun on the water, I've been telling you about my friends over at Midwest Marine Boat Company. They have everything you need for summer fun on the water. And it's not just the boats. No, it's also the experience on the boat. Making sure you got those ice-cold beverages that are going to stay ice-cold. Did I tell you that Midwest Marine Boat Company has Yeti products? If you've never enjoyed your favorite cold summer beverage in a Yeti tumbler, then you've really never enjoyed summer. They got Yeti tumblers, coolers, you name it, at their brand new indoor showroom, Midwest Marine Boat Company in Grandview.
Up-level your cocktails with J. Rieger & Co. Straight Bourbon Whiskey, bottled in bond. A double gold medal winner in the world's largest and most prestigious spirits competition, every bottle is distilled, bottled, and aged for 6 years. All right here at J. Rieger & Co., Kansas City's original distillery.
Firing up the grill seemed like a good idea. until I realized I have to do all the work. Take a load off. Let Bogey's Windy City Pub do the cooking. Located in South Leawood and bogieswindycitypub.com. Bogey's Windy City Pub, your neighborhood restaurant and sports bar.
We're talking with Dr. Chris Hettinger, board-certified urologist at Kansas City Urology Care. Tell us what sets KCUC apart from other urology practices.
The things that make us stand out are the technology at our disposal, the quality of the surgeons, and the experience from years and years of robotic surgery.
KCUC was the first to bring robotic surgery to Kansas City, right?
We performed the first robotic surgery in Kansas City in 2003 and continue to perform hundreds of urologic robotic surgeries in the Kansas City metro area every year. Robotic surgery offers less blood loss, shorter hospitalization, less pain, shorter recovery period. After robotic surgery, many of my patients get back to work within a week or two. For abdominal surgery, it's revolutionized what we've done.
From problems urinating to sexual function to prostate cancer, see the experts. Kansas City Urology Care. At KCUC, you see the best in KC. To make an appointment, visit appointments.kcurology.com.
At Shane Company, we believe everybody is made to shine. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. Shining is not for a chosen few. Like a rare gemstone, each one of us was created under just the right set of circumstances. Your moments, your milestones, your love story, all deserve to shine bright. You don't need an occasion or an invitation. You and your life are the event. At Shane Company, we handcraft our jewelry with the greatest care and hand select the most beautiful gemstones so you can shine. So put on a pair of earrings that make your eyes sparkle. Wear diamonds that light up the room. Try on sapphires in every color of the rainbow. Give an heirloom that collects new stories with each generation. We're all made to shine. Shane Company, fine jewelry since 1929.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code FLEXIBLE at checkout. That's harrys.com, code FLEXIBLE. Enjoy.
Switch to Boost Mobile and get the ultra smooth, ultra powerful iPhone 11 for $49.99.
He didn't stutter.
See every angle with dual cameras,
Make it a double.
all on America's largest 5G networks.
Large and in charge, baby.
Get with the power of Boost and get the iPhone 11 for $49.99.
That's half a Benjamin.
Boost Mobile.
Unleash your power.
ID verification required. New customers only at one per line. Additional restrictions apply. See boostmobile.com for details.
At the Home Depot, we have laundry appliances that just fit. From the space you have, to the features you want, to the savings you need. Like a new GE Profile Ultra-Fast Combo laundry machine that can wash and dry a large load in about 2 hours, without you ever having to transfer the load over. Get special buy savings like the GE Profile Ultra-Fast Combo Laundry Machine, plus an extra $100 off select laundry sets in-store and online at the Home Depot.
Discover credit cards automatically double all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year, which means... Wait, hold up. Question for the audio engineer.
Go ahead.
Did I read that right? Discover automatically doubles all your cash back?
Yeah, that's what the script says.
So if I get a Discover card right now, I can earn twice the cash back.
Apparently. Wait! Unlimited first-year cash back match. Only from Discover. See terms and learn more at discover.com/match.
Prescriptions require an online consultation.